What's up, stream? So as you can tell, I shaved my hair off. I went from the longest hair I've ever had to the shortest hair I've had in like 20 years. I literally have not had hair this short since I was like 7 or 8. And I did that mostly because I wanted to face my fears and detach. I'm very identified with my hair, so I wanted to like let go of it and see what that brought. And it was a very healing thing for me to do, and I'm happy I did that. And I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed the change. I think it looks better than I thought it would look. So yeah, I cut it 9 days ago, so last Wednesday. So it's grown a little bit, but yeah. Very scary to do. I was sitting there with like the clippers. I was standing there with the clippers, and doing the first step was so difficult. It's like being on a diving board, right? And you gotta like take the first jump and just go in. It was so scary. Yeah. We've been changing a lot. We've been healing and changing. Life's good. We have been sober and doing our raw vegan diet for 30 days. Tomorrow will be the 30th day, so pretty much 30 days. It's been going great. I've been feeling a lot better. Sobriety's big. I feel a lot better when I'm sober. I feel a lot better when I'm eating raw food as well. Both those things are very high in energy and promote well-being. So I'm doing really well. How you doing, bro?
We've been having green juice for like 10 days. It's been very nice. It's really healing for your digestive system, resets your intestines, and pretty much sets you up for optimal nutrient absorption. Also gets rid of parasites, super nutrient dense, so it's disease reversing. Tastes good. Feels good to drink. It's nice juicing again.
It's been so fun juicing again, honestly.
Yeah.
I forgot how fun it is. It's really fun juicing. What's it called? Yeah, the juice recipe is like an official, like, famous recipe online. It's called Lemon Ginger Blast. It has lots of healthy ingredients. It's very detoxing, like Chris said. It has celery, herbs like cilantro and parsley. It's got apples to make it sweet, turmeric, ginger, mint,
Cucumber, habanero.
cucumber, and habanero. The habanero is like the advanced recipe, but it's worth it. It's honestly, the first time I did the habanero was very spicy, but ever since then I've just been kind of used to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely used to it too.
I love habanero. It's really nice. It's so fruity. And dumb spicy. It's insane.
We ordered durian, jackfruit, sempedak, and dragon fruit recently. Durian doesn't digest well for us.
No, I can't eat durian.
It's acidic.
It makes me have like acid. Yeah,
It digests really poorly.
acid reflux, and also
Makes the next day acidic too.
yeah, it makes my next day acidic too. So it's just not good.
Tastes great. It's a fun
It tastes
treat, but
amazing. It's like caramel.
It's
ice
honestly
cream.
funny how I can get a
I
vegan
know.
grilled cheese that digests better than durian.
Yeah, I can get a sandwich that digests better. Or equally bad, which is pretty insane. Put her like, yeah, let me handle the nom. Let me deal with the noms. Oh, it's running away, it knows. Alright, never mind. Another thing that like pertains to the title of letting go and welcoming the new is Chris and I got rid of a bunch of old stuff that we had. We had like, a bunch of like old clothes, so I was like 5 to 10 years old. Like filling up our closets. Got rid of it. We improved the energy flow of our home by doing that and just like our lives. We were actually, it was inspired by a couple of things. One thing, our neighbor did the same thing, but also we were watching a YouTube video one night and I was talking about like stagnant energy in your home and like things that can cause stagnant energy, and like old things or like even items that like aren't originally yours that can carry like negative energy, or that you have the intuition that can be carrying negative energy. Can bring negative energy, stagnancy into your home, and it's worth getting rid of all that. So that was a cool thing to do.
We bought phytoplankton recently.
Got
It's a
phytoplankton, it's
super
really healthy
food.
food.
It's super nutrient dense.
Our cats are crazy about it. The first moment I opened it, they wouldn't leave me alone. I didn't have space. I had to wrestle
Yep.
their heads from like
It's been known to improve
Eating
pets' skin and fur conditions, reduce allergies. No! Shh. You need to lay down and chill out, kid. What do you possibly want? We've been looking into people who don't eat food because If you cannot eat food, then you feel pretty good. Eternal fasting is awesome if it's done properly, if it can be done.
Yeah, we like came across the idea of breatharianism like years ago, and I definitely resonated with the idea. And then got kind of scared away from it from like people in my life and stuff like that. And then last year when I was reading Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, there is two instances of people who successfully practiced that in that book.
And
So that's pretty
another
interesting.
saint that doesn't sleep,
Yeah,
doesn't need to sleep. Whether they maintain their energy through other activities or yoga, whatever it is, but they don't sleep, which is cool. Because sleep's a waste of life, and I hate sleeping. I love sleeping, but I hate sleeping.
yeah.
I'm addicted to it. Man, I've been sleeping on the floor. Like literally in the past 2 weeks, I've slept in my bed probably twice or some shit.
Yeah, I think
not
it's been like once or
much.
twice. Yeah,
It
no,
has not been many times.
mostly sleeping on the floor, which has
Sleep on
been
the floor.
great. It's really good for your back. Mainly, like I did it for like my back and spine. Helps keep it in like a better posture. I also have like some neck pain, so like I've been doing it for that. It definitely helps. But a main reason is to make sleeping less appealing, because sleeping on a hard floor is not as appealing as laying in a bed. And I nap and lay down too much, so that's good.
A benefit of, well, so we've been pretty much fully raw and sober for a whole month now. And what comes alongside the sobriety is no fap, because, well, honestly, drugs make me fap. It's that simple.
Yep.
And all three of those for a month straight is pretty great.
What all
Feels
three of
good.
those things are is hollow pleasures. So we've been devoid of hollow pleasures for an entire month.
Yeah,
for us.
self-sabotaging pleasures.
Yeah, self-sabotage, hollow pleasure.
Sins.
We're all hungry. We're all starving, and we can like try to satisfy that starvation with hollow. We can try to satisfy that starvation with hollow pleasures like those things, junk food, drugs, masturbation or porn, whatever your addiction might be. Anything, any addiction that's hollow.
Not want to hang out.
Nami, please hang out. We love you.
Not want to hang out.
And it's best to not fall into those traps. Don't fall into temptation. Choose short-term pain for long-lasting joy. And don't fall into the trap of short-term pleasure for long-lasting suffering. It's easy to not see it as that. People can be like, oh yeah, like, you know, for example, I smoke weed every day, it's not a problem. It's like, it's not long-lasting suffering. No, yes it is. It is long-lasting suffering. It will slowly eat away at you whether you notice it or not. It's making you more tired, making you more lazy. It's taking away from your life. Hands down. I remember like last opinion I shared on stream about cannabis, I was like, oh yeah, it's like fine to moderate, blah blah blah. If you're a healthy individual and you want to do shit with your life, no. Don't even touch it.
Yep.
Don't use it.
It's a speed bump.
Yeah. It always holds you back.
Fuck that.
Hi Luke, I love you, kid.
Yeah. I've seen so many people in my life pretty much, and they're daily users, and they don't ever plan on stopping that cycle. But they admit that it interferes with their productivity. It's like, oh, good thing I don't have anything to do. Oh, I just smoked this really debilitating strain. Good thing I don't have anything to do today.
Yeah, right?
It's like, wow. Really excellent choice.
Really exemplifying
Excellent choice.
How it holds you back. The limitations it involves. Life is greatly divided into two energies, love and fear. Love is passion-based. It'll help you manifest your dreams. It's magnetic. Prince, amazing to see you, fam. What's good?
broski?
Chilling, bro. We're doing great. Chris and I have been sober and on our raw vegan diet for 30 days straight. Feeling really good. We've healed a lot from that. And we're going to keep it going. How are you, man?
Yeah, it feels good. I've been doing lots of fun little changes.
Lots of fun changes. I mean, bro, as you can see, I shave my hair off. Like, I'm sure you know that.
The
though.
fall's been nice. It's getting cooler. Actually, tomorrow is pretty much gonna be probably our last day in the 80s, and it's never gonna hit 80
This
again.
season's so nice.
Yeah.
I love autumn where we live. It's so beautiful.
Speaking of temperature and fall, Matt and I want to take a vacation. It's like our first vacation that we've ever done. We've never done a vacation just ourselves. Just to like go somewhere and explore. And we're planning on doing Florida. I mean, Florida's like perfect for us. It's got tropical fruit. It's warm, and I love the beach. Like literally everything about Florida is something we should love.
Yeah.
We like hot weather,
Climate, beach,
fruit,
and fruit.
beaches, sun. Like literally, there's no
W.
reason. If I go there, I'd probably want to like just drop everything and fucking live there. I was jokingly telling Matt that's probably a one-way, bro. I'm not going back. Mentally prepping for a rugby game.
I gotta admit, I've never seen or played rugby.
I can understand that, bro. Competition's a little stressful, but at
Oh,
the end of the
Sports
day,
especially, yeah.
just be present in it. You know, just give it your all. Whatever is your best, and that's all that matters. You know, like that's actually like that's how I get into my workouts and don't overthink it. I can put pressure on myself, like, oh, I want to hit a certain rep count, but then I surrender. I'm just like, yo, whatever I do hit was my best, and that's all I can do.
Surrender is beautiful. Yeah, let go. Let go of your desires, let go of your fear, enter that love state. Which reminds me, I was talking about how like life is divided into like love and fear. And yeah, make sure you're choosing energies in your life that promote love and that keep you away from getting stuck in a fear vibe. That's only gonna make you stagnant and trapped. If you think about it in a vertical way, if your goal is to ascend and float higher and higher and higher, love is that force that brings you higher and higher and higher, and fear is going to keep you way down. It's going to keep you stagnant, stuck.
It'll make that ascension harder,
stopped.
or it can even just pull you down.
It'll slow you down, it'll stop you, or it can even like make you even lower in that.
Love is progress, fear is anti-progress.
Yep. Pure positive energy versus pure negative energy. Who's going to choose the pure negative consciously? No one wants to do that. With a given intelligence, no one's going to choose that. Love that, bro.
I want to hug you.
Got a prince up.
Luffy, you smell like a prince of Arabia.
Yeah, he does. He sounds like a gift. He smells like a
gift
an
to
incense
Jesus.
gift to Christ. Oh, yeah, exactly.
That cat doesn't purr, it murs.
So creating a hype playlist. Love that, bro. But yeah, we were talking about breatharianism like a second ago, and I was like clarify the idea because we will start watching some videos of it that are really interesting. And pretty much yesterday, I just stumbled across a random breatharian like reel on Instagram, and I thought it was interesting. So like I checked out the account more, and I found more like no eating, no sleep people on that account. Like I found it really interesting. I was like, okay, what's this about? And after seeing some of the reels of like some of these people talk, like what it's about them, it's like, oh, full video like on my channel, and it's fucking awesome, honestly. Because I watched one video yesterday, and it was really, really intriguing. I resonate with the ideas.
Way too cool.
I resonate with the ideas. I'm all about letting go of limitations and transcending. So yeah, we're gonna watch some more videos of that today on our stream, and I think it's gonna be fun to watch together.
For sure. It's a really cool concept. Obviously, Matt and I aren't like.
No, I'm not promoting it. I must.
We don't
say,
think everyone should do it. We don't think we should do it.
No,
as much as I would love to.
It's
not
extremely
eat,
dangerous.
not sleep.
And you have to be very prepared. It takes lots of spiritual preparation
It pretty much
and awareness and power. Like it's not for everyone. Like people love their sleep. People love their food. Like no one wants to give that up. Enough said.
It takes pretty much a god master to pull that shit off.
Well said. That is pretty much what it takes.
Yeah, it's really cool because like if you think about it, obviously everyone loves sleeping, but if you never got tired, would you want to sleep? It's being dead.
Yeah, no. If you didn't feel
if you
fatigued,
never
you
ever
would
got
sleep.
tired, there's no reason to sleep. You would just do things eternally until you actually died.
No, yeah, and if you remove fatigue as even a factor, sleeping is obviously a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a distraction. It's escapism. You're escaping
Yeah,
reality.
exactly. Even if you still got dreams, why are you going to choose these illusory dreams over this dream, this reality right here, which is more substantial, more relevant?
Hi, Nom. Hello. Soulless quintessence. Bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to talk about before we hop into those videos, bro. I can start watching them soon.
What I want to
Talk about the
say
juice and all that.
is that one of the concepts that this supposed non-sleeping, non-eating person does, or no, what they say is, sleeping is actually
Energy removing.
a like sort of drug-like action where it stimulates you. You borrow energy to have a crash later on, much like a cup of coffee. You're borrowing its effect, and then you have a debt to pay later on. Doing coffee, you'll do the next day because you're gonna be tired. You do the next day because you're gonna be tired from the coffee. And it's the same thing apparently with this person, how they see it with sleeping. They say sleeping actually doesn't give you energy. You're expending and donating 80% of your energy, and you'll get it back later on in some sort of, or my bad, you'll get your fatigue back in a multiplied effect later on, which it's kind of like not a good deal.
It's
in theory, if it is possible to go weeks, days on end without sleeping, that's W as fuck. Forget the food thing, just sleeping though, and like actually getting hella shit done, it's a cool concept.
For sure. What we're going to tune
That's such
into
an advantage.
Yeah, what we're going to tune into contests common logic. Like forget what you knew forget what you know about food and sleeping.
But yeah, they say that sleeping expends or consumes 80% of your energy, and then the remaining 20% is digesting food. And they also say, and it makes like yeah, you could be like, oh, food's only 20%. That's scientifically proven, by the way. Digesting food on a daily basis is only 20% of your energy. But they said that the catch-all is that if you're eating food, you're pretty much compelled to sleep because the fatigue of food will make you want to sleep. So if you want to not sleep, you have to not eat. Is what they pretty much say. That's the concept.
It's a double transcendence.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
It is a mind-boggling concept.
Yeah, I'm happy to hop into it and see what it's about.
An exciting perspective if true. Which, I mean, we know it's true. We know it's true.
Yeah, no, there's proven accounts.
Plenty of saints have done this.
Yeah,
it's just, once again, you gotta be a saint. You gotta be a transcendent master, pretty much.
Alright, so we're on part 2.
Love it. Okay.
Alright, we're gonna watch this video now, guys. Like I said, it's about breatharianism. It's about transcendence of commonly seen requirements of eating food and sleeping. We're not saying this is reasonable and everyone should do this. We're not saying we're doing this. Also, it's in Russian and it's translated. So, another thing. And yeah, there's plenty of accounts of people who fast for days, months, or even years on end. Like, just, if you haven't heard that before, bang, now you know. Your mind's open. You don't gotta eat food every day. Catch that. Say this person here claims to not eat food and sleep much. They don't claim to not sleep at all. They sometimes sleep. And I would also say they sometimes eat food as well. But they practice autonomy, they call it. This current chapter is called What is Autonomy? Check it out.
There is total regeneration.
Alright, I might pause the music.
Yeah, for sure.
Doop doop doop. Gone. Alright, cool.
My nipple is gone. My peace nipple.
That's insane.
Of the body. Moles and all kinds of papillomas disappear. Teeth regenerate and are restored.
Both these people claim to not eat food or sleep much. She said that she hasn't eaten food or slept for 4 days in this moment, which is wild. Also, you can look at her figure, and, well, she's not like, you know, doesn't look like she's dying. Neither of them look like they're dying. But she was quite obese. She in the previous, this is part 2, but in the previous part, she was obese, and obviously, by not eating food, well, you're gonna lose the extra weight.
restored. For example, the gaps that remained even during the raw vegan diet are restored immediately, literally in a week. Your teeth begin to regenerate. You don't go to doctors, you don't need psychologists, because you understand everything about yourself. Water dries out. All wrinkles are water. Water does not hydrate or nourish. On the contrary, it dries. Bad breath doesn't come from
Insane.
food. It comes from sleep. Bad breath really means you are dying. In sleep, you rot. Your brain neurons die. The body begins to decompose and your breath starts to stink.
We're so ugly when we sleep.
You talk about lucid dreams. I've learned to be conscious while
What the
awake.
fuck?
When they ask me where my places of power are, I say, wherever I am. You think you have reserves that you're spending, but I say that in this life I already have unlimited access to everything. I possess all the energy of the world. It belongs to me, and I am ready to share it with you. People eat for only one reason, a longing for love. In autonomy, you inevitably meet love.
Some amount of longing for love right there. And that's what I've become aware of in my life is everyone's hungry, everyone's starving. And what we're starving
Everyone's hollow,
for,
and we fill this
fulfillment.
hollowness with stupid pleasures.
Yeah, we're all looking for fulfillment. And yeah, we try to scratch that fulfillment itch with this food or that drug or this relationship with this person, etc. And this is exercising the idea of autonomy, of satisfying all these things without external forces, pretty much.
That
Love.
means the beloved person appears in your life, because autonomy itself is a practice of love. It is said that psychoanalysis is also a practice of love. When energy and potential are released, someone arrives and you fall in love. I want to be human. Thank God I didn't have children until I was 35. And I'm very glad, because within autonomy, that is a wonderful age to begin having them. I want to have many children, and I want them to be different. Now, I have a wonderful relationship with my parents, something that was not the case before, and I enjoy being close to them. Traditional psychology used to say it was better for children to keep their distance from parents, but that was only because of constant arguments. But imagine if you had no problems with your parents. Wouldn't you want them close? For example, my
Most
parents
definitely.
are also moving closer to autonomy. They eat very little and support me in everything.
Awesome.
Since we have
That is
this
great.
kind of relationship, of course I want it to be more than just the occasional phone call. For me, they are a safe environment. I know they would never give my children anything harmful, so why push them away and isolate myself from them? For me, this is about family ties, and about building a completely different society, one where there is no hostility, neither among animals, nor among tigers, nor among human beings. This new world is the autonomy I am moving.
So people can call like a vegan diet extreme and stuff like that, but what we're talking about here is extreme purity.
Yep.
Obviously, that's why it's so far fetched for people to understand.
Towards.
It's even
I
hard for me to
work with
grasp.
the United
No,
States
sure.
at night because of the time difference, and that helps me stay awake. I give many private lectures. Right now, I talk a lot about autonomy as something normal, not as something for a chosen few, but as a natural physiological state. That is, you simply remove the drugs, you stop lying to yourself and to others, you free yourself from them, and then accidents do not happen, because the cause of accidents is food intoxication. The cause of domestic quarrels is food intoxication. The cause of domestic murders, too, is food intoxication. I no longer have any questions for this world,
I'll
and I
couple drugs into
openly
that as well.
declare I want to give and spread knowledge about autonomy freely, because autonomy does not belong to me, it belongs to everyone. My happiness is simply to be happy, and if I am happy, then everyone will be happy. I want my parents, my future children, my beloved, the people around me to be happy. I truly want to protect them and give them a tool to understand the risk they take every time they put something into their body. It takes at least 2 weeks for the body to release all excess liquid, even from the head. Then vision begins to recover, because the cloudiness in the eyes is nothing but liquid. That same liquid is in your head and prevents you from seeing. If you get injured, the place does not even swell if you have no excess liquid in the body. Once I fell from a motorbike in Thailand. The bike fell on my leg. It was painful and sensitive, but it did not swell at all, because swelling is water, a liquid that should not be in the body. Water dries out. All wrinkles are water. Water does not hydrate or nourish. On the contrary, it dries. The more you drink, the more you want. That is how any addiction works. To stop wanting to drink, you need to expel.
It's like one of the most counter-logical things she's saying is that water is pretty much, it dries. And it causes wrinkles.
Another thing that she said is like when it comes to like breath efficiency, she says like F a deep breath. She says
it's one of the first ones.
middle and shallow breath is actually better. Yeah, very shocking, almost constant contrary information.
Yeah, contrarian.
This is a contrarian concept.
Trollarian.
Trollarian, for sure. But yeah, all interesting. I like hearing the gaslights, even if it is true.
All wrinkles are water. I'll say this. We have a very high water diet. We eat lots of fruits. I have juice every day. I eat lots of water. Not actual water, but water in the form of fruit.
Yes.
Fruit juice.
We don't drink water. We take in hydration through
and
fruit.
Given that, I follow a healthy diet. In my perception, I follow pretty much the peak healthy diet. And my skin's fine. I have acne. And I also have some wrinkles. Not like terrible wrinkles, but like I have wrinkles that I wish I didn't have. So honestly, I could hear her up. Like, all wrinkles are water? Hey, if I actually stopped having so much and I saw them go away, I'd agree with her. All I can say. I could actually test it out and agree with her potentially. I can't see either of their faces well because it's far away, but her skin looks clear and smooth. And even this older lady's skin looks
very good.
Clear and smooth. Yes.
Yeah, she looks good too.
I'm not sure if it's just camera magic happening
All
or
the
what,
excess water from the body. That is why the very first step in practice is to remove water. Because if you drink, you will want to drink again. And then you will also want to eat. Why, for example, do people eat soup with bread? They say you won't feel full unless you eat bread with the soup. Because any liquid that enters the body needs to be absorbed by something dense, like bread. But if you do not pour liquid into your perfect biomachine, then you won't need to put bread into it either.
So what is anorexia?
That's a tough take.
It is a mental disorder.
But people die because they don't eat.
No, not because they don't eat. There is no anorexic who eats nothing at all. To stop eating completely, you would need an iron will. It's very hard. It requires incredible control and awareness.
She's right about that.
And every person with anorexia still eats, and it's precisely that which exhausts them. Besides, they live in fear. Our body and mind are connected, but food has nothing to do with weight. To become exhausted, you need to hate yourself. This has nothing to do with not eating. I don't even know what pranism is, or this prana that supposedly should be eaten. We don't eat anything, and the reason is simple. From birth, a human being does not need food.
I listened to different conferences and came to a...
Interesting. So I'll pause that. She's talking about anorexia.
Yeah.
Regardless of the anorexia semantics, people die from starvation. So what? And I've heard this before. Like, I was thinking about this. What is the difference between someone who fasts for a long time and transcends the need for food, and someone who starves and dies?
I can answer that, and she answered it for us as well. She said that's the fear. That's the fear mindset. So these anorexics and these people who die from not eating are people who are denying themselves food while simultaneously believing that they need the food. So if you don't think you need food, if you actually know you don't, you're not going to die from it.
I think we've heard that as well when looking into breatharianism before as well. It's like, it's all in mindset. If you think you need it, and you think you're being deprived of something that you need for life, then you actually can manifest the potential of dying, which is fascinating. So, but if you understand that your life is sustained via God connection, air, sunlight, and that's all you need, and then you'll survive. It's fascinating.
It is. But yeah, and also I just wanted to mention, because this is like something I thought about yesterday when we were hearing that like instead of sleeping, they literally do like physical activity
Yeah.
to get energy or to generate energy
Yeah.
or to not feel tired, whatever it is.
Yeah, just to defeat tiredness.
Yeah, exactly. And it made me actually think of, I know it's kind of weird, but Ellie Weisel's like story, and it's a concentration camp story, concentration camp survivor,
Yeah.
and they would go on insane runs.
Yeah,
They would go on
death runs.
insane runs,
Mhm.
and obviously these people weren't eating.
They weren't-
So the ones that were eating and doing all this exercise, people think, oh, you need calories, you're expending calories, you're not taking in calories, surely you die, right? But no, it's all about will. She literally said
is.
it's iron will.
It is. It's attitude, mindset.
You're literally manifesting it through your will. You're either manifesting your death of starvation or
Dude.
your transcendence and non-involvement in food through pure will.
Life is so sublime, and what this is, especially as a human, the potential we have as humans in this experience we call life, is so massive, and we're fed such a short, like a short-ended part of the story that like snubs our potential, makes us think we're much less than we are, and all these things. It's actually very effective to throw everything you know away and reconsider everything. It's possibly enormous how much misinformation and fear we are given. It is enormous,
Conclusion.
very likely.
At first, health improves a lot. The body uses its reserves. Everything gets better. Diseases disappear. And then, at some point, those reserves run out.
Well, that's what your fears are saying.
Yes, well, I was just observing other people's experiences.
Reserves, reserves. This is a deficit. You think you have reserves that you're spending, but I say that in this life I already have unlimited access to everything. I possess all the energy of the world. It belongs to me, and I am ready to share it with you. Each of you can already be a multimillionaire in energy, in health, in everything. And when people ask me if I have developed great cities, I say there are many. Not sleeping is already a great city. Before, I had never lived happily. My whole life I lived in fear, and now it is gone. I can give lectures anywhere, even on major television channels, anywhere at all. You can go on vacation or travel without carrying bags of pills, without worrying about getting sick, about your child getting sick, about insurance, and so on. So you're not afraid of anything. I come alone to any city in the world, and I feel at home. All circumstances line up exactly as I need.
But that's already another level of life, not the life of an ordinary person.
No, in my travels everything happens simply and quickly. I only take one handbag because I don't carry loads of things. I can arrive and find what I need right there. I don't book a hotel room because I have
It's
the
so
ability not
spiritual.
to sleep. I'm not tied to a pillow, to a bed, to sheets or a blanket. I go to the beach, I swim, I meet people, I make appointments. I have complete control of everything.
That's a serious statement.
Yes, it's a serious statement. And I know what I control. Suppose I have some problem. I know its exact cause.
I just wanted to mention
Yeah.
the absolute unentanglement in her travel. She says she doesn't book a hotel
Yeah,
room
yeah.
because she doesn't need a shelter to sleep in. She literally just like goes to the beach and swims and meets people.
Right, or she like walks around. No, exactly.
I mean, if it's a cold place, you definitely should probably get a shelter. But
Yeah.
pretty cool, pretty cool.
I control absolutely everything.
I also like seeing like the classic like concerns and like normal human like responses to her to her ratio mindset. So it's just a ratio mindset,
Mhm.
which it's unrelatable. Like she said, like that's not an ordinary human. It's like yeah, no shit. What she's promoting here is nothing close to ordinary at all.
What is food? It is the breast that was never let go, the nipple that was never let go. A person turns to the breast as a stimulant or
Do we really
relaxant
call it that, bro?
to change their psycho-emotional state.
Yeah.
But when I, as the ruler, discard this tool, then I am given all the patterns of control. And how do I manage them? Through control itself. Now I can watch. If I don't sleep, I can control. If I sleep, I no longer control. If I sleep even an hour, the percentage of my control drops sharply. Watching means not sleeping. If you don't sleep, you control. Once I came back to my apartment in Krasnoyarsk. I hadn't been there for 6 months, and there wasn't even any dust. Not even dirt affects you. It doesn't stay on the floor or anywhere else. This is total management of time. This is total control of scenarios. Relatives start telling me completely different things about themselves. For example, my grandmother always used to say she had never loved my grandfather, that she married him by mistake, and why did she even have those 3 children? But when you rewrite your past and visit your family, they start telling you the opposite. Oh, how happy I was during those 50 years. There are no men like your grandfather anymore. At first it seemed like a mystical experience. You really do rewrite even your old scenarios. I literally say, when you eliminate sleep completely, you start to control everything. Don't even think that an autonomous person could eat and then get on a plane or behind the wheel. Guys, this is a very serious practice. When I was in Krasnoyarsk, I ate half a pear and lost half my car. Seriously, Marina has the same story.
Lost half her car?
Lost half her car? What the fuck does that mean?
What does that mean?
She ate half her pear and like her car got like destroyed?
What? I don't catch that.
No, but I do catch her saying this is serious practice. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
That's fascinating. She's implying there's consequences even stepping into like this contract, if you will. Interesting.
Why?
Speaking of which, Twenty One Pilots has that song called The Contract. And in that song, he is literally saying how he doesn't sleep.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I don't sleep much. That's crazy. Like, whatever he says.
Keep myself up. That's maybe how you know.
Yeah.
That.
Promises and contracts I used to keep. And I really thought, dude, yeah, the contract he's talking about could probably be the contract to not sleep to get shit done.
Yeah, and then later on he says in that song, my hallucinations I used to see. He's talking about fears. I think he's talking about used to believing in fears. So, pretty cool how it ties into this.
No, dude, like, yeah, Tyler Joseph, like, should have be adding onto this shit.
He's
I can't
obviously
believe
not
like,
autonomous.
No, but dude,
yeah, exactly.
he's successful and awesome. That's a fact.
Because I ate. I clogged my brain and crashed my car. I want to tell you, when you become yourself, you realize...
So she did crash her car. They crashed their cars? Is that what that fucking is? That's what it sounded like.
Juice WRLD shit.
Are you serious, though? Like, you got inebriated from eating food? And you crashed your car?
No, I think they're talking about it not even being inebriation. I think they're talking about the maybe divine punishment, or it's a synchronicity for them breaking their discipline.
It's
like
that, or it's quite literally fatigue from actually
or
putting it into their pure body.
Okay, right.
Yeah, no, it's fatigue, bro. She literally says that she gets like job action putting food in her mouth.
Lost half my car. Seriously, Marina has the same story.
Just the same story.
Why?
Because I ate. I clogged my brain and crashed my car. I want to tell you, when you become yourself, you realize you've been living behind masks. With your parents, you're one person. With your boss, another. With your husband, yet another. You're always wearing masks. I always remember a story with my grandmother. She was born and lived in Belarus, and during the Stalinist repressions, she stole some wheat heads because there was nothing to eat, and as punishment, she was sent to haul timber in the north, in a settlement in Krasnoyarsk. That was her prison. One day we were walking together and I said, I need to lie to a girl. She has asked me for a toy. I don't want to give it, and I want to lie, saying it was taken away to another city. My grandmother said, if you're going to lie, write it down on paper, because next time you'll forget that you lied. So write it and keep it in your pocket. I told her, but I don't have pockets in my dress. And she said, then you have no choice, you must tell the truth. So now I wear dresses without pockets. I am just as I am. Do you know how easy it is to live like that? I don't put on masks with you. I don't put on masks with my daughter. I tell my daughter the truth, and that truth is so pleasant. I always wanted to be a good mother. My daughter once found an owl on the street, healed its wing, and kept it on the balcony. Am I a good mother? I should support my daughter because she brought an owl home. Or am I a bad mother? Hey, get out of here with your owl. And my daughter says, Mom, I knew you didn't like it. I stayed silent, wore a mask, and she wore a mask with me. That's how we lived. Wearing masks. A theatre. But when you're in autonomy, like I am today on my 4th day, I am just as I am. A simple Siberian felt boot, and I don't need to choose my words carefully with you. It's so easy to live. It's so interesting to live when you don't wear masks anymore. You are free. That's what Nastya promised me. And I'm
Honestly, I'm a very honest person, and I don't need to give up sleep or food to be an honest person. I'm very honest.
Yeah.
I despise lies. I see where they're coming from though, and I'm glad that's a factor in it. But honesty is just really important. It's a manifestation of love. Love makes you an honest person. And also lies are just like she said with like the whole writing it down thing. Lies are tangly, they're messy, you gotta like keep it going. Honesty, it just flows. You don't gotta fucking put up an act and be like, oh, I lied to this person about this, I gotta remember that. Like, no, when you're authentic, you don't gotta put up these like structures to remember this shit.
free, in a beautiful flight. I do what I want. And every minute I ask myself, how do I feel? Am I comfortable? Why do I need autonomy? For high purposes or something else? No, I just want to be happy. I want to love myself because all this time I only loved either my husband, adapting to him, or my child. I tried to give my husband everything he wanted. Your husband is your creator, and you bow. Fine practices. But where am I in all that?
This is shared happiness, which didn't exist before. Because before, there were always fears. On vacation, I thought about pills, about the coming death of my parents, about their illnesses, about my own bodily problems. We say that heaven and hell are here right now. We say that in autonomy, you are in heaven. It's the same life, just without all the mess that was there before. Can you imagine that it could be like this? I still can't believe it.
What do autonomous people say about physical death, and what might be after it?
For me, autonomy is control. That means you can control everything, including your own death. In autonomy, there is total regeneration of the body. Moles and all kinds of papillomas disappear. Teeth regenerate and are restored. For example, the gaps that remained even during the raw vegan diet are restored immediately. Literally in a week, your teeth begin to regenerate. Your hair becomes very healthy, even if you don't wash it, dye it, or do anything to it. I don't wash my face. I don't use household products. You don't go to doctors. You don't need psychologists because you understand everything about yourself. But that doesn't mean that you don't need other people. You feel a huge need for others. Only to
Her discussion of total control is pretty awesome. Yeah, it's a cool concept. How it makes me also understand in Autobiography of a Yogi, where like that guy the saint got his arm cut off, and the next time that soldier saw him or whatever, he had his arm back.
Yeah.
It's because he's under such control of his reality, he literally manifested his healing miraculously.
Yeah. You can call it like a divine connection as well, which like is what this implies. Yo, Mel, thank you so much for the 20-month resub. Thank you.
Yo, Mel, appreciate that. Thank you.
We're watching a
20
video
months.
about Breatharianism or autonomy, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, these two people on the screen promote the idea of not eating or sleeping and how that is very healing and helpful.
Yeah, this girl right now that's holding the mic claims to have not eaten for 2 years, not drinking water for 2 years, and she sleeps very little, only occasionally. She literally refers to sleeping as pretty much like ruining her life, and whenever she does like relapse, it's always an L, even if it is just like an hour nap or whatever.
They both just described how because they don't eat food, when they do, they become fatigued and also bad things happen. It's a very pure lifestyle they're talking about here, and not relatable at all. That's why it's interesting.
And this girl
Very
that's
cool.
on the mic used to be raw vegan. She used to pretty much be fruitarian, which is really cool. And she also suffered from rheumatoid arthritis, and apparently the raw vegan diet didn't exactly help with her RA,
No.
but this got rid of it.
Super interesting.
So very, very
Share
interesting.
love. Just for that, not to get something from them.
Nastya, don't you have any fear at all? Or are you afraid of death?
Not at all. There's nothing to fear. Fear only comes if there's been some kind of slip up. Then you just stay at home.
I used to work in the restaurant industry. My whole work life revolved around food. I opened restaurants in Krasnoyarsk. Later, I managed supermarkets. I know everything about food
Is this guy gonna
products.
talk?
I'm a technologist in meat processing
is he a
and in soy
fucking
processing.
Autonomous?
He's on the
And now,
stage.
I've given all that up. I even have a collection of 20 serves, and then suddenly, I gave it all up. I was heading in one direction, and now I've gone in a completely different one. I had a very strong motivation.
If I eat something or I have a slip up, I'm afraid something might happen to me and it could be fatal. For example, if a car crashes and I get into an accident, what happens then?
You enter autonomy gradually because you can't do it all at once. At
Yes,
first, I
obviously.
did 24 hours, then 2 days. And the more you practice, the more life makes you pay for the slip-ups. For example, suddenly I can't park as I used to, when I always found a spot instantly.
What?
On top of that, I'm disabled. I have a disability card. I'm both disabled and a gymnastics coach at the same time. And then I slip up. And suddenly, there's no place to park. Then I crash the car, and I realize I shouldn't even be driving. And Nastya, if she has a slip, she never gets on a plane. She knows what could happen. So the issue of slipping up becomes very serious. And when I slip up, sometimes I want to go to a nice restaurant in Sochi with a beautiful dish and background music. You can understand me, that's what I want. But this emotion is rather low level.
This
can
is
be
high
replaced.
stakes.
The emotion-
Right?
This is high stakes. It's ultimate manifestation power, they're honestly saying here.
No, for real.
It's if you don't eat and sleep, bam, you can do whatever you want. You can manifest your dreams.
Dude,
but if you
what?
fuck up, you pretty much can manifest early end or like
It looks like a multiplier. Yeah, like you said, it's like
it's max manifestation power.
it's fucking crazy what they're describing here. You wouldn't think it like would have like drawbacks like that. Like what? Like bro, I'm like I understand the serendipity they're talking about, right? Because like every time we park at this lake, it's fucking packed, right?
Yeah.
And there's always like one spot that we could park at every time.
Yeah, literally.
And it's a serendipitous thing. It's lucky. It's fortunate. It's blessed.
But what?
What like?
I think it might be them, like, because you know how we're saying it's them manifesting it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like their own guilt.
Yeah, it's them
of
deciding the rules.
Breaking it.
Yeah.
It's literally Gremmy. And you
Yeah,
know how
no, dude,
Gremmy
it's all
killed
mindset.
himself, pretty much? Gremmy
Yeah.
defeated himself.
Yeah.
He had imagination, realization.
Yeah.
Whatever
yeah.
he thought came into to reality. So them slipping up, them either sleeping or eating and feeling bad about it,
it brings bad
makes
aura.
them think poorly of themselves.
Also, they have
Unless
powerful
bad things
auras. Like this lifestyle brings a powerful aura, and when they have that negative energy, that guilt, that shame, that brings a very powerful negative aura to manifest negative things. Your reality is manifested by the energy you give off, your aura. And if you have negative energy, you're going to manifest negative circumstances. And what they're describing here is honestly a very extreme.
Yeah, high risk, high reward. Double
Very,
edged sword.
yeah, it's hardcore mode. Very extreme case of, well, aura manifestation. Very fascinating.
Connected with eating can be replaced by any kind of creativity. Dancing, singing, writing poetry. I don't know what talents you have or what you dream about. Recently, I was practicing autonomy with a woman who worked in an Azerbaijani family. They're meat eaters, and she was always cooking meat for them, always those smells. And I said, let's try autonomy, and we started for 2 days. On the second day, she told me, I want to paint. I'm going to buy brushes. She's a bit older than me. She suddenly wanted to paint.
About what Marina said, and your question about sleep.
She told a meat eating
meteor stopped
family,
eating food
let's
for 2.
try not eating.
and they said yes.
And they felt good.
And they said yes. That's
ups.
great.
I would like you to try
That's
doing what
fucking
Marina
funny.
does, eating only once a week, and see how much self-control it actually takes. Nobody says a slip-up is a good thing. It just happens less and less often. Once every 6 months, or every 3, and so on. With every slip up, you realize it wasn't worth it. Those half pairs, for example, they weren't worth half your car, nor the emotions you felt or didn't feel.
Nastya, what about out-of-body experiences?
Not interested at all.
There's nothing to say?
I've
Pause.
never had them. I'm very
Well, I'm just-
physical.
I
I'm
can't
an
pause, yeah.
athlete. Most of
What's up?
But no, I just wanted to say that, like, it is a lot like the Garden of Eden. It's like the temptation of a treat. And you also said it's like hardcore mode, where it's like,
Because we all experience shame.
It's-
We all
it's a-
experience.
it's a devastating intensity of guilt or punishment for the temptation.
Dude,
She was
wow.
tempted by a half of a pear.
Seriously, yeah. Which
Most people wouldn't even want a pear.
clout to the pair.
Literally. Most people want like takeout or something.
No, yeah, like so, like in her like standard, having half a pear is a slip up that has a tremendous repercussion, and like in our discipline, that's her discipline and her repercussion. In our discipline the past 30 days has been no drugs and no cooked food. It makes me think about what the repercussion would be if I had a cooked meal, honestly. And
No.
would it be bad? Maybe not substantial. Just besides the fatigue and, you know, just the bad karma.
It never
after that.
has been bad.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah,
The repercussion's
exactly.
always like,
It's
I
just
feel
emotional.
tired. Yeah, it's
energetic.
emotional.
It's energetic and
karmic.
emotional.
Yeah, it's karmic. It's emotional. It's like, I feel tired. I don't want to play games with my friends.
because-
I don't want to go to the gym now or whatever. I don't want to
Yes.
go live. Whatever it is.
It does cause depression.
Chris and I were very tempted to have cooked food today. We've been tempted a little bit.
No.
Haven't. And a big motivator of why I didn't want to today is because I wanted to go live today and watch these videos. And I knew if I had like restaurant food, I'd feel tired and not want to go live.
It's so funny for cooked food eaters to even hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, if I had a cooked meal, I wouldn't be able to do what I want to do.
Dude, but then
But
we hear her
that's-
say she has a pear
Yeah.
entirely in our guidelines,
Yes, exactly.
and her car gets fucking wrecked,
I
bro.
know.
What?
It is
My life
wild.
has been connected with the body.
Absurdity.
So I was
From an
never
out-of-body
even
experience.
interested in lucid dreams. There's a joke. You talk about lucid dreams as if you'd already learned to be conscious while awake. And psychoanalysis is about exactly that where the id was, the ego should emerge. The id is everything unconscious, everything unnoticed, all the dreams. And the more your ego fills the field of the id with awareness, the more you start to understand. When people ask me about out-of-body experiences, I always say I'm not interested because it's already obvious, conscious and clear what it is. I've never left my body because I didn't want to. When people say they wander in their sleep or leave their bodies, for me, that's lack of control. What's the difference between a hallucination and a vision? A hallucination is an uncontrolled invasion of images into the psyche. A vision is control. In autonomy, there are no out-of-control states, no being thrown somewhere or that kind of thing.
When you talk about slip-ups, about wanting half a pear or a cucumber, what drives those desires? Or what do you get in those moments?
Temptation.
I think it's my own egocentrism. Just egocentrism, being trapped in myself, strings tied to a
Yo,
false
what's
self,
good,
and you step off
broski?
someone
Awesome, good to
else's
see you, brother.
stage.
Happy
As
Friday,
soon as you
bro.
leave another person's stage,
Blessings,
you
my
forget
man.
why you're here.
Yeah, actually, we should possibly pause. But yeah, the cow snakes are yelling at us, dude, for real. Wait, I'm not sure if you're just now tuning in, but pretty
Oh,
much
loose
both these
now.
people here are essentially breatharian. They don't eat, sleep. They don't eat, sleep.
No, they
Do sleep a little bit
They
sometimes.
practice the discipline of not eating and sleeping, and they even talk about their slip-ups of having food or sleeping. It's shocking, actually, like the repercussions they've described of, like this lady said she had half a pear, and the bad karma for having half the pear caused her to crash her car. And they actually both have crashed their cars from eating food. Welcome to this this clown fiesta that we're watching. It's very fascinating.
it's really, really cool.
It's mind-opening. Yeah.
So this girl with the mic used to be raw vegan, ate fruits. She used to have autoimmune disease called rheumatoid arthritis, and her raw veganism was not healing it, which is shocking. That usually would heal it. But pretty much eternal fasting, never eating, and never sleeping, does get rid of it for her. So awesome.
Yeah, they call it autonomy.
And
Overcomplicated.
in theory, if you didn't need these things, not eating and not sleeping is fucking W. Not wasting
OP.
money on food and not wasting time on sleeping half of your
Yeah,
day
that's
away.
really OP. It's really OP.
WW. So,
But obviously, those are things that everyone loves and does not want to give up.
but they
including me.
only love it because it's supposedly essential. You've been like we were convinced we need these
It's
things.
essential, but we're told it's essential. But at the same time, it's also an addiction. Like
From
beyond the level of essentiality, like we're addicted to sleeping. Like we love sleeping.
Yes, exactly.
We can sleep a lot less.
Yes, it's too much.
Regardless if we're removing it entirely, we can sleep less, and I'm addicted to sleeping.
Yeah, but pretty much it's a W min max. If I was given the blessing to not ever have to eat and not ever have to sleep, I would get so much stuff done and I would save so much money.
It's an appealing concept. They're honestly describing pretty intense repercussions though for
Also,
accepting this power, which is weird.
also they claim insane athletic feats. Like
True.
instead of sleeping, they pretty much recharge their car battery by just doing things. They keep themselves busy by just doing things.
Yeah, running,
with
swimming,
passion,
walking,
Pretty much
yoga,
love.
talking to people.
Love is the
connection, yeah.
fuel to this lifestyle.
Yeah, they're filled up.
Stay
love.
passionate and you stay alive.
To give your best. That's when the false self is alert. But the more you practice, the more irrelevant it becomes. We could even not talk about it at all, only we decided to be 100% honest. That's why I think if you're going to experience this, you should know all of its sides, both the positive and the negative, right? We simply don't know how to live. For the first time after many years of autonomy, I experienced living with a man I love, and I'm happy just to live with him. I never thought I would live with the man of my dreams. I didn't think my parents would be healthy, that I wouldn't have to worry about someone's imminent death or about where to get money for surgery. When people ask me where I get energy from, I say, I am energy. When they ask me where my places of power are, I say, wherever I am.
But if you eat, then violations happen, right?
It's not about eating, guys. You don't even understand. You think eating means a plate of food, but for us, eating can be just a cucumber or just a single nut.
For us, it's just a meaning, but for you, it's a failure.
Well, slip-ups are a separate topic. They can happen for a while, but once you understand how it works, you know they don't exist anymore. When you understand all this, you never go back there. It's just a path to discovering these keys. We had to go back and forth for 3 years, but you don't need to
Come
anymore.
on, failing discipline.
Since I was 15 as an astrologer, I could see in our natal chart that there were no indicators of disease. I mean, you can live and never be ill. Imagine, in 33 years of life, I've learned that you can live without bodily problems. You can do almost anything with your body and know that nothing will happen to it. That's what we came to teach. Before, we were told we had to get sick, get treated, be afraid, go to the pharmacy, to the hospital, take tests, and repeat the whole cycle. Your parents get sick and die. You too, your relatives. Your children always have colds. I don't want children with runny noses. I never wanted that.
There's been a lot said about giving, that you must always give. Turns out an autonomous person can't stop giving or creating, otherwise they'd have to sleep.
Guys, the principle of the sun is to shine.
So I say, to teach. Or what is the alternative? What would you do?
Life constantly gives us these situations. Guys, there's nothing to fear. You can't end up in a void when you have so much energy. Whether you want it or not, you'll meet people while walking.
She's literally saying how you don't have to overthink or stress things because situations fall into place that match your energy and everything is in divine order.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool, actually. Really cool.
In other words, when you're so full of this love vibe, fear is non-existent. Thus, you don't manifest bad things.
Yeah, unless they have those slip-ups like they talk about, just fucking crazy.
This has a lot to do with
discipline, obviously.
Discipline, and just like your thoughts and emotions becoming reality, right? So they're constantly in a passionate, love-based state,
Yeah.
constantly manifesting good things. But when they slip up and fuck up their discipline, they drop their vibe a little bit, and because they drop their vibe, the reality reflects that vibe
All right,
drop.
I'll actually express this. Is that it's not like the biggest like eureka, but you know, for them, like their discipline is to, you know, not eat food and not sleep. And then when they do have their slight slips of eating like a single nut or a half of a pear, really bad things can happen. And so I'm not in that level of discipline. But for me, I try to abstain from doing drugs, eating bad food. And in my past, when I've had like really bad things happen, especially like towards my career and stuff, it could happen towards me like, you know, doing a drug, like just doing too much cannabis, like late into the night, sleep in, fuck, irresponsible, all these things. Like, you know, it's not a good thing. And pretty much I'm just saying that my step up is using cannabis irresponsibly, and then I sleep in, and that's like not good for my career and all that. That's back on. Not as severe as a car crash, but it's still tremendous. You know?
This chapter of the YouTube video is living in autonomy, love, happiness, and
immortality.
immortality.
I like that.
Called, there will always be situations that push you to express yourself. You don't look for them. It's not that if you don't give, you fall asleep, and that's it.
No, the question is different. It's not just about transmitting knowledge, it's simply about life.
About life, of course. That doesn't mean I can't receive. I can receive with joy.
From your words, I'm always giving lectures. Something flows through me to people, and that's how I live. It seems you always have to be speaking or creating, so you don't switch off.
Well, that's life itself, isn't it? How do most people live? For example, right now, we're living in a house with other people. They live so slowly. When you take away sleep, your life speeds up by about 80%. But they just go round in circles, cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then washing the dishes. It's such a huge stagnation. Everything drags on so slowly. In that same time, you could have traveled around 10 countries. I have so many people around me. Every day I talk non-stop with different people.
How does it end? Does the body fade away? Or can one live for millions of years?
Who told you that life has to end the way they said? Do you really believe it's all been written in advance for you? That we must all die at 70, either of a heart attack, a stroke, or an oncology condition?
I know what you mean. In Krasnoyarsk, we've got an oncology center just 2 bus stops away. And it's all predictable, only 2 treatments, radiotherapy or chemotherapy. For us, it's become like catching a cold. Can you honestly say there's no oncology condition in your family? I won't believe it.
What's oncology? What does that mean?
I'll Google it real quick. Oncology. I don't know what that is. The study and treatment of tumors.
So
Cancer, pretty much cancerology.
Okay.
Carcinology. Alright. Interesting.
Aunt, your mum, someone else. They told me, you're 56 now, by 57 you must die. And yet I haven't. Just imagine,
What?
alive, happy, with no illnesses. Picture a woman my age waking up without pain, with her own teeth still strong. How can I bring joy to the world and love it with a sick liver? A sick person can't lift their arms and say, I love you all. That would be a lie, a complete lie. I'd be lying. All those empty phrases. Come on, brother. What kind of brother are you to me when illness strikes me mercilessly? But when I'm healthy, I love you. I love you because I'm not in pain.
To be a happy mother. I never wanted to be one. Seeing my friends always stuck in hospitals with their children. Every time you rang them, the kids had colds or jaundice or some post-vaccine sickness, and they were endlessly debating whether to vaccinate or not. I never wanted that. I wanted it to be different, and now we know how it can be different.
You're so
I can't boast of a
beautiful.
single friend, and I have many, who can say, I'm happy with my husband. My friend Irina says, thank God my husband's gone to his mother's. At least I can have a rest. That's a happy family. She's got a husband, a family, and yet she needs a break from him. And you're simply in the sea in Vietnam kissing, and that's it. You don't need anything else. That pure sense of happiness, of being alive, and you'd never felt it before.
You fell in love too. Tell us about it.
It was wonderful. I thought, that's it, I give up. Who would want a woman who doesn't even cook soup? I realized I had to get out of the situation the doctors had put me in. So I went to Vietnam for 3 months on my pension, €110 a month. And everything unfolded so easily. I stayed at a Vietnamese woman's home, did exercises with her, because her neck hurt, and she only charged me $100 for 3 months. I was supposed to pay for electricity separately, but she said, no, you healed my neck. You don't owe me anything else. And then one day I went into a vegan cafe and sat next to a man. He didn't speak Russian, and I didn't know a word of English. The next day I could already say, I was so motivated. It turned out he was also connected to autonomy, which amazed me.
Let's go to
A
the
man from
beach
Sweden
together.
with heart
That's
problems.
so great.
He'd survived a heart attack. And even now we still write to each other. In Vietnam we lived together for 3 months, practicing autonomy. He started right away, but in his own way, based on an American book about the heart, since he'd had a heart attack. I fell head over heels. He was so much like my father. And I'd found someone with whom I felt relaxed, at ease. I didn't need anything from him, and he kissed beautifully. Absolutely nothing was needed from him. I'd only ever felt that once before, at 17, with Sasha Dybin, the trumpet player. And now I felt it again.
Look
Everything
at the
before
full
had
name,
just
bro.
been
Sasha
masks.
Cloud.
My first husband, because my mother kept asking me when I'd marry, that it was time. I thought, well, he's not bad, he's got a job, doesn't drink, went to university. Those were just masks, contracts. But in autonomy, there are no contracts. There's soul, pure, beautiful. And you are yourself. I tell you this freely. I honestly don't care what you think of me. If you think badly, that's your problem. If you think well, thank you for thinking well. But my desire to share this is enormous, especially with people whom society has rejected, spat on, and told to go die. And I love grandmothers. I love your mothers with spine problems. I joke with them when we work on the spine, call them girls even though they're 70. And in just 7 days, they manage a full opening. There's a method. It came to me precisely in autonomy. I'd never in my life managed a handstand. And now I can. Just a week ago in Krasnoyarsk, I went to the forest, to the taiga. I walked 5 kilometers easily, and if it hadn't got dark, I'd have kept going. I don't like the dark, because my sight drops a bit. But in daylight and sunshine, I see fine. Imagine that. Such motivation that the eyes begin to see. Every year I
Right.
used to save money because
Background to this girl is that she was pretty much born legally blind, and when she doesn't eat, so when she is fasting or autonomous, breatharian, whatever you want to call it, she sees. W. Wow.
in Soviet times healthcare was free, but now you have to pay. My life revolved around scraping together money for a new surgery so I wouldn't go blind. That was how I lived in the mornings. I'd get up with my husband, want coffee? And we'd talk about the coffee, the porridge, the dinner. I'd wash the dishes, clean, peel potatoes for supper. And when I moved into autonomy, I told my husband, I won't cook you cabbage soup anymore. I can't be your wife. And he said, then you'll be my sister. Now when I visit, I do cook something, because afterwards I'll be traveling, treating vertebrae. I've changed so much. I've become prettier. And I love it. It's so wonderful to put on a short black French dress. Before, at 112 kilos, I'd run from the mirror and say, well, I may be ugly, but I'm clever. I've got a degree. At least nature gave me that. That's what my mother gave me. But now I weigh 58.
You've been practicing autonomy
Wow,
for
she
3
halved her
years,
weight.
as I understand. With our state and our feelings, we create everything, even the future. You say, I feel I'm immortal. That's clearly your intention, and probably that's how it will be. But are there any real-life precedents of autonomous people living a long time, or are you pioneers?
I've never wanted to imitate anyone, so when they ask me if there are examples, I couldn't care less. I follow my own path. If there are
I
no
respect
examples in
that.
history, it doesn't bother me in the slightest.
So it came from within you. You'd never heard of it before.
I simply see what happens with my body. I feel my abilities.
In 57 years, I had never lived what I lived in just 1 year. Everything began to move straight away. I passed exams, got 2 certificates, learned how to treat the spine and correct scoliosis, all in a year. I went to Vietnam, I fell in love, and I've already been to Sochi 6 times.
So is this guy a superhero too, or what's going on? Did you see the quiet superhero? Because like, you know, they're in love vibe and yappy.
In a year. Retirees should live like this. I'm a pensioner with moderate disability, and I had already been on the verge of death.
What interests me is humanity. I see friendship between people and the environment. I worry a lot about pollution and who's doing it. We are. We do it every single day. We're destroying the planet in the most literal sense, and you can't call it anything else. And it matters to me because my children will live on this planet. People will live on this planet.
And about animals. A predator by nature must eat another animal. But if they all stopped eating, would they then stop being predators?
Remember the pictures in the children's Bible when all the animals were with people? I'm heading for a level where I don't want to help or serve anyone, because I don't want there to be people who need my help. It's like that old joke. My grandfather wanted everyone to be poor. That's communism. And my other grandfather wanted everyone to be rich. Autonomy is about everyone being rich.
That's how it will be in the end, but right now, by passing on knowledge, you give those who are seeking spiritual development the chance to receive it. Not because you impose it on them, not because you want to make them happy against their will, but because you open access,
Leave it alone, Liv.
just as you're doing
You know
now.
how to trigger. Stop. You're
Yes,
annoying.
but without telling anyone what to do, only speaking about myself. And you make your choice. Because if I say do this, the responsibility falls on me. But responsibility should belong only to oneself. That's why I don't know what you'll do afterwards. But I really want to share it. Maybe you'll find something that helps you, and I'll be happy for you, and you'll be healthy.
A question for Nastya. You said you knew nothing about autonomy. What was it that pushed you towards it? Then you say you found love. Was that perhaps the reason?
But first it was the pain in my own body that guided me, and
Yeah,
only
all right,
afterwards
talk about
came
brothers.
love.
And about that love, when you say, my man came, didn't you ever feel love not for one person, but for several? 1 month for one, the next month for another, even more strongly?
When you said my man came, was it fast? Or did it last a long time?
And could you involve me
No.
next time?
No, I cannot do that.
So it's different?
Completely different.
And it's steady all the time?
Yes, it's a very steady feeling, and there's a direct recognition, an understanding of who is in front of you. You start to see the picture of the future. You understand what's going to happen. You know what will unfold. For example, there's a woman practicing autonomy. She used to be a big manager. She has 3 children, and all 3 were born on the same day, the 19th of July, but in different years. So you really begin to manage.
And this love, does it somehow reveal itself later on? Or rather, how does it show itself?
Of course, because each one of you here wants it, each one is searching, each one is waiting.
I'm gonna teach your cats a lesson because we have another video to watch. I'm just gonna bring them out. Anyone who wants to walk out can. Alright, walk out. There you go. Shut up.
Bye, Nam.
Yeah, learn a lesson.
Lady on the right is hot. The one with the white tank top?
This is the left.
It's.
And they're
You're
both
sitting in
they're
the
both
chairs.
factually attractive, to be fair. This person's just older.
Yeah.
In fact, people only eat because they don't have
gonna see
access
what that
to
does.
it. People eat for only one reason, a longing for love.
I can't believe that the women here want, say, a 4-room flat or loads of material things the way I used to. What everyone really wants is to be loved and to love. To wake up laughing with that person.
We want more people like you, like us.
One neuron.
And you
Mine's drooling over
people
her
who
feet.
aren't consumers, who understand responsibility, who genuinely live this life, who
Yeah, she's
themselves
attractive,
carry
for
energy
sure.
and happiness. It's not about saving whales or helping disabled children. It's about living in such a way that disabled children aren't even born anymore.
That's exactly what I mean. I don't see the point of buying insulin pumps for diabetics. Like you said, you have to water the roots. If I know that if children stop eating,
They'll stop getting sick and they'll be happy. and they'll give birth to equally healthy children, and civilization will change. That's the higher global plan we want.
Exactly. Yes, yes, it's a new generation of children. I understand we'll have many children. We'll give birth to many healthy and free children.
What else do you do, apart from giving talks and passing on knowledge? Maybe some sort of associations or communities.
What I do, and suggest, for example, is living together and practicing together, so that people find it easier to experience it, so it doesn't seem unreachable or incomprehensible. We simply live together, so people get the chance to experience everyday life in common. For instance, being together without eating, drinking, or sleeping for at least a couple of days, so you can dive into it. How does it work? What do I gain from it? What immediate changes happen in my personal world? That suddenly my mother stopped being ill, that my father received the document he'd been waiting for. In other words, how your affairs and your family's affairs start to resolve quickly, because you enter the practice and change your lifestyle. It happens straight away. Just one night without sleep already fulfills a load of your wishes. Hard to believe.
But when you stop eating, drinking, and sleeping, there's detox. Toxins come out. Irritability rises. You're left lying down with no strength.
That's not true. You can't imagine how many myths there are about this. If you stop eating, drinking, and also cut out sleep, there'll be no bile. People vomit bile only because they keep sleeping. Sleep makes the body release bile. Why nausea? Why weakness? Because you're still sleeping and not moving to the next level. To eliminate sleep, you have to enter service, into giving. And what is service? People don't understand it at all. They don't understand what it means to give, and so they can't reach it. But it's a very clear mechanism. To not sleep, you have to give, to share. And no one wants to. No one knows how. That's why no one can stop sleeping or eating.
So in short, you can't move into not eating without giving up sleep. If you don't eat but keep sleeping, then you get all that rotting, fermenting, and pollution.
Exactly. Bad breath doesn't come from food. It comes from sleep. Bad breath really means you are dying. In sleep, you rot. Literally, your brain neurons die. The body begins to decompose and your breath starts to stink.
Interesting how much giving is a part of this.
Do what you like with this information.
When we fly on a plane, people fall asleep. Just look at how they sleep. You see a handsome man in a tie, mouth wide open, that smell, snoring, breathing deeply, and I realize I'm the same when I sleep. We're so ugly when we sleep.
Insane. Alright, third part. The true sources of energy. This one is 13 minutes long. Right,
Sleeping is like renouncing the world. One says, I'm not interested in the world, I'm leaving. You wake up with weight loss because during sleep the body is stimulated and consumes energy. Weight isn't related to food. You do 200 squats and your muscles grow. And you don't need fat.
So these muscles should grow simply from energy?
And you think they grow from bananas or what?
Well, yes.
But that's funny, it's nonsense. I don't know how we lived in that, in the natural state.
She's right. You gain muscle from exercise.
Yeah, exactly.
From
No
physical
one fucking gets
exertion.
this. No one
That
gets
is how you gain muscle.
We learned that on low protein diets. We're like, oh, like,
Yeah.
you don't need fucking protein. It's a shitty lie to make you sick. Literally, it's a shitty lie to keep you sick. It's
And-
acidic and it causes diseases.
It's just a misconception as well, just because everyone eats. And the idea is that it's pretty obvious. I like the saying from like one of our like vegan mentors or whatever, is that muscle is built in the gym, not in the kitchen. Well, fucking said. That's all you gotta understand. It makes sense. Exert your muscles, gain muscle.
I don't know where I heard this,
Without
but it
eating
was
and
something
drink.
like if society does it, don't do it. Yeah, that's pretty fucking true.
Everything burns inside you. When they say that you have to poison the worms, the parasites burn in this reactor. Generally, menstruation disappears with a raw vegan diet. When the body is clean, you get a response, karma, exactly within 5 minutes. If you don't sleep, you have to cut food and water. If you drink or eat, you'll fall asleep on the spot. You'll put your life in serious danger. Either an accident will happen or something else, and you have to take that into account. You can't stop sleeping while eating. What's going on with you guys? You want to think that if you're creators, everything is allowed to you, even that you can gobble down a lamb. You can only give if you love yourself. You can only love others
That's true.
by loving yourself. If I hate myself, if I criticize myself, it is a lie.
That's
that
why I
I
don't
love.
share.
It's a lie.
That's actually why I don't share, because I'm a fearful person, and there's definitely parts of myself that I hate. It's 100% true. It's subconscious, whatever, but it has been an invisible anchor in my manifestation this entire time. I can easily admit that. Okay.
Lying to you.
Okay.
Every minute I can give you something if I have an inner light. If I do not have this light, I cannot give you anything. Eating in this sense is like hating oneself, like committing suicide. That is to say, it is not about self-love, but about self-punishment. Putting something inside is such a complicated act. Then all that makes you bloat. Afterwards you have to get it out of the body. It is pure masochism. That is why when you eat, people begin to treat you badly, because you are punishing yourself. So above all, it is about the rebirth of an immense love towards myself. I'm not ashamed of it. Only in this way can I truly love another person.
Marina, tell me please, how are you gradually giving up sleep? How do you get rid of it?
Nastya was born autonomous already. She told me that ever since she was little, she would play with the potatoes on her plate instead of eating them. I always ate. My mother had programmed me differently. Daughter, you will be a good girl if you eat all the semolina. And I couldn't stand semolina, but I really wanted to be good. And it was as if I had programmed myself, I have to be good with you. I will be good if I eat everything on the table. Remember the expression, I got drunk like a mad woman at a wake? Sleep left on its own. That is to say, you lie down and understand that you do not want to sleep because your body has nothing to digest. When you eat, you always want to sleep, right? You eat and you fall asleep. And then we say, I slept so well that I could hardly get up. And right now, I absolutely need a shot of coffee and to stretch my muscles because I rested so much during the night that in the morning, I cannot get myself together. The same thing happens to us every morning. But in autonomy, tomorrow does not exist. It's always daytime. I practice not sleeping for 2 or 3 days. And then I tell myself, I have no tomorrow. That is why the head does not get dirty. It is not the environment that dirties it. The environment practically has no effect on autonomous beings. But if you sleep, even a little, you wake up with a dirty head. You wake up with weight loss because during sleep the body is stimulated and consumes energy. That is to say, living without sleeping is a practice over time. Generally, you begin to live on a different plane. There is dust everywhere in the street, and yet you do not wash your face. If you do not sleep, you take a cotton pad and see that you have nothing on your face. Therefore, it is a myth that the environment has such a destructive effect on a person. We, as practitioners, say that this does not happen. I do not have cleansing foams or exfoliants.
What about the teeth?
We have beautiful teeth, and they are all ours. I always suffered from plaque and tartar, and literally after 2 months it would fall to pieces and I had to remove it with my tongue. My teeth are absolutely perfect.
And do new ones grow?
Ours did not grow, but of course teeth have to change. There simply was no need. In general, my dentition was quite good. When I need to work, I go without a problem to any restaurant in Moscow. I take the cheapest drink, say an espresso or a tea, because I need to buy something to be there. I sit down to work and I smell it. For coffee lovers, guys, a tip: coffee is the strongest poison, a very strong stimulant. Just smell it. Don't pour it over yourselves. You can also smell tea. Why do you need that water? Especially hot water. The body does not need it at all. The sun is a huge...
I love that she called coffee the strongest push. She did. She did. Yeah. She's actually encouraging a tip of smelling it instead of drinking it. Well, she's talking about going to a cafe and like really requiring to get something. So she gets a coffee that's cheap, but also you just smell it.
Internal reactor. You do not need to prepare in any way for a dry fast, because in practice, in the natural state without eating and drinking, everything burns inside you. Malignant cells burn. When they say that you have to poison the worms, the parasites burn in this reactor. You do not need to do anything. Your bodies are ready for this.
So do you live in society?
We live completely in society. You eat 3 times a day, and I eat once or twice a week, and that is a normal life. I want to stop eating completely.
But it's very difficult to become autonomous. It is a very hard path for anyone. Giving up food or sleep forever is very tough.
Once you try it for a day, you will feel sensations of being so full of life that you will no longer want to go back.
It's a
I will
constant
never go
grind.
back for
You
anything,
never log out.
nor for any blessing of this world. They are repetitions. I'm not interested. I have eaten watermelon 1,000,000 times in my life. I have eaten peaches 1,000,000 times. Look, guys, either you don't sleep at all, naturally, or you sleep less and less, because sleeping makes you want to repeat. If you remove sleep, you will no longer feel like eating. I spoke with a practitioner, and she told me, you don't have this addiction to food because you have always eaten very little. I told her no, that I simply didn't want to. Even with a minimum of sleep, these weaknesses in the form of thoughts about food can already appear. But what can you do? You can, for example, smell an orange or the peel, which smells very strong, and you understand that you do not need to gobble down the food.
I had an experience when I was studying at the Art Institute. I had to hand in work and get ready for the exhibition. I remember not sleeping one night. I was preparing my work and was already half asleep. I hadn't closed my eyes for a second night and was falling asleep on my feet. In that state, I took a taxi and loaded my works. When I arrived at the Institute, I got out and left, and everything I had been preparing for the exhibition stayed in the taxi. I mean, I was already in such a scattered state, even though it had only been 2 nights without sleep.
Of course, because if you don't sleep, you have to cut food and water. If you drink or eat, you'll fall asleep on the spot. You'll put your life in serious danger. Either an accident will happen or something else, and you have to take that into account. You can't stop sleeping while eating. What's going on with you guys? Also, if you drink water, that's called fasting, and then you dream of French fries every night. And if there's no water, then it's a completely different process. It's abundance. I'm so rich that I can afford not to eat or drink. I don't drink water, not because I'm forcing myself. So, water makes you want to eat. For example, I won't eat these flowers. They're beautiful and interesting, but I can touch them or smell them. So you don't care anymore, and you don't run away from food. You can interact with it. You can even cook for someone, but you already understand that your body and food are like 2 parallel realities.
Tell me, what about intellectual work? When, for example, you think a lot logically, devising strategies to undertake challenging tasks? After all, you're exerting yourself, and that's heavy. It takes resources. That's why, after that, you get terribly hungry.
So you mean your resource is in the drug?
Yes.
So you think better with Coke, right?
Of course.
Well, I don't.
Many people in intellectual professions like lawyers and such need to eat something to be able to work with their minds.
So they should be authorities for me then?
No, but that's how it is.
That's how it is, yes, that's how it is.
But you're not going to lie to yourself saying you don't want to eat. You'll go and eat. Otherwise, if you start denying yourself, you'll get into an even bigger mess. It's a psychological desire. Anyway, we're not going to give up food that easily. First, you need to want it from within, for it to arise from within. If it's not inside you, you're not going to start doing it.
He's right about that.
Guys, I wouldn't like you to start the practice because of an incurable disease. I'd prefer you to start it for other reasons. Nowadays, there are a lot of people who come to this on their own because the quality of their life changes in an impressive way.
You're
That
strapped.
is, resources, for example, suddenly get money on their card.
She's getting hotter!
Their wishes fulfilled. Things happen that are so interesting. They simply can't be compared to spending 5 minutes chewing something. It's another quality of life. Other values, and you no longer trade that.
The male mind cannot focus with that strap. That's hilarious. That's fucking funny. No, but my focus solely got fucking
Food.
wrecked.
That love for people, the way people treat you, the attention you receive, those opportunities, like mine for example, living practically without earning money and traveling, I don't know how it happens.
Sorry to interrupt you. Maybe we're actually talking about truth. It's about not lying to yourself, being sincere. If I want to eat, I eat. If I don't want to eat, I don't eat. It's exactly about truth, not about food or sleep.
Of course, look, you come to understand that in the end, the desire to eat turns out to be a false need, that there's something else behind this need. And I need to find that something else. And when I realized that I didn't want to have dinner, but I did want to buy a ticket to Bali and fly there, I started doing it. It turned out that I wanted to fly to Bali. I took my phone, bought a ticket, and that same night I left. That's what it's about. The degree of rapid realization of what you desire. That is, time accelerates in such a way that you no longer have to wait years or decades for something to come true. I have a girl in the group who is now in a relationship with a man she loved for 10 years without being able to build anything with him. And suddenly, Now he's entered her life. That's it. And now they're going to get married. That's how fast it is. It's just that when you eat, time stretches and you don't know what to fill it with. That's boredom. But in autonomy, the energy accelerates in such a way that your life fills with interesting, important, and necessary events for you. And food simply stops being necessary. That's what it's about.
That is autonomy.
Let's see if he absorbed that. Let's see if Doja X got
Yeah, no,
absorbed.
dude,
He's talking.
Doja kept on calling food a truth. That's pretty much what he was saying. He's like, he's
Yeah.
pretty much saying you need to eat. And
No,
she's
he
constantly
can't-
saying, no, that desire to eat is actually a false.
Yeah, that paradigm
reality.
can't shatter for him. It's
Yeah.
unshakable for him. Let's see what
Is
he does.
simply an opportunity to increase the resources to realize one's own potential.
Yes,
Do you consider yourself fulfilled, or are you just on the way?
I am for sure only at the beginning of the path, 100%. I think I'm not even 10% self-realized. Socially, I graduated from school with honors, I have higher education, I'm a master of sports, and that's nothing. I still haven't done anything for the world.
Did you say that sexuality changes? And sex itself? What happens to it?
Of course, sensitivity changes a lot. Remember, you have dinner and the desire for intimacy disappears instantly because your belly is swollen like a pregnant woman. How can you have sex with such a bloated belly? Guys, let's be honest. That is, you can only have sex when your belly is really flat, and that's when you can really feel something. That is, with food, there actually was no sex. I didn't know what sex was. Or again, the problem of the female orgasm. Very often, a woman doesn't experience an orgasm. As a psychologist, I've talked about this often. And precisely when you take away sleep, the orgasm appears during the relationship between man and woman. Why? Because sleep causes a huge spasm throughout the whole body. It blocks absolutely everything. Your back hurts and you can't bend after sleeping. And food in this sense acts like a pill for spasms, like a painkiller. After sleeping, you don't feel absolutely anything. It's like a hangover after anesthesia. My first love was a man 15 years older than me. One day he said to me, "It's strange, I think I'm
15
crazy."
years older.
Because at night, for example, I have certain thoughts. I fall asleep, and in the morning it's as if I've lost everything, as if I were another person, completely different, as if I lost everything I had built during the day. Do you understand? Everything wonderful you attain during the day, after a night of sleep, is completely erased.
That seemed like it hit you. What? Tell me about that.
No, I mean, I totally understand what they're talking about with the benefit of not sleeping being you're constantly on this grind, you're rendering, you have a focus, and
Yeah.
sleeping, you reset. You can like
It's a
forget.
huge ad break for sure.
Actually, it reminds me of Two Cinema Club lyrics where he's like, I wake up every day and change my mind, good morning. He like literally forgets what his plan was the day before.
And that's what she was describing as like her first boyfriend, right?
Yes.
He would like forget his like mission
Yeah.
after he would.
I think
forget who
she
he was
said that
and
she
what-
pretty much fell in love with him because he admitted that after sleeping, he like pretty much lost passion for certain thoughts that he had lots of passion for the night before. Stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Very interesting.
But yeah, that's I can totally see this time acceleration they're talking about as well.
This is called real sex only without food and with a flat belly. That's
W.
fucking hilarious.
W.
W.
Fuck being fat, that's an L.
What were you saying though? The time dilation you said or whatever? Yeah, time acceleration they're saying? That's what you talk about?
Yeah, just like I can imagine this grind set they get in. Like she's saying like, oh, I want to go to Raleigh, I just fucking go.
Yeah,
I'm
there's no
not
limitations.
paralyzed by my fatigue from eating, my fatigue from sleeping.
There's no plans.
I'm no longer like,
Yeah. Dude,
like
food and sleep take up so much time. There's so much plans in your days. Food and sleep.
in short, there's no more constipated karma.
Yeah.
The karma flows.
Yeah, it does flow.
The karma just flows.
For sure, bro. No, it does flow, and that's facts. No, dude, what we've done very little fasts in our life, but one thing I've always loved about doing an actual fast is I don't have to spend time eating food or making food. I can get off from work, go game, go stream, go work out, whatever it is, and there's no delay.
Yeah, I mean,
And then
dude,
on top of that, this lifestyle they're talking about removes sleep.
Dude, she calls
A giga chapter of wasting time.
She full on calls food a drug, and it's a valid label. I mean, to be honest, dude, just look at the government. Food and Drug Administration. They're combined into one. Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah.
They're all together. And also, it's like, it's a stimulating pleasure, and it's hollow and unnecessary. That's literally a drug.
Yeah.
If it's truly unnecessary,
Yeah, right.
if it's truly just a hollow pleasure, food is literally just a drug.
I wonder if it's situationally medicine, and that's pretty much it. It's just
I
always,
think-
like Whole Foods are just medicine, and then that's the thing about eating it. Like it's unnecessary. You don't gotta take medicine if you're healthy, pretty much.
I think
Is that what it is? Like, if say you have a vitamin deficiency, you eat the vitamin C orange.
and I
or
think what they're
vitamin
saying is
mango.
pretty much that one mango in 6 months is all you need.
Yeah.
Because you're not expelling and losing all this energy or whatever.
The older woman described how we're talking a little bit Oscar here. The older woman described how much she eats in a week, right? Did she say 1 to 3 times in a week? Did she say that?
I think it was more like once every 2 weeks is what she said.
Oh, that's what she said?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright. So does that imply like bad karma when she eats every time, or what? Like, I guess not. I think maybe if you're trying to do too much, because like that time will be, I don't even fucking know. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
So, where to start? Let's say you don't sleep for 3 hours and you eat a little.
It's better to start by eating a little and make it based on vegetables, because with fruit, a much stronger dependency develops. Better some raw vegetable.
A note from Leo of Fruitarian Paradise.
Nasty and Marina usually mention the cucumber. If that's what they mean when they say vegetable, I want to point out that cucumber is a fruit, just
yes.
like tomato, zucchini, sweet
Avocado.
pepper, and pumpkin.
And how do you see the topic of money? Has your relationship with it changed?
Vegetable chips like spinach.
Yeah, it's
Celery.
leafy greens. Yeah, I don't know why cucumber is often mistaken as a vegetable, but
It's green, that's why.
yeah, and it's not sweet.
It's green, not sweet, that's why.
Yeah.
What do you see in that tool?
Honestly, I feel absolutely at peace with it. I've probably been working practically for free with people for about 3 years. Sometimes a donation comes, sometimes a big donation. And I tell myself, well, at least let the astrology consultations remain paid. But then I understand that everything falls into place anyway, and I realize that if I want relationships with people to change, I myself have to show it by my own example, in myself. These days, something strange is happening to me. Everyone gives me rides for free. For example, taxi drivers. It's a kind of mystery. It's amazing. I get into the car and they drive me for free. I ask how much it is and they say, nothing. When you enter a supermarket, you look at those shelves full of packaged food and you understand how far you already are from all of that. You're simply clean, luminous, with your perfect body. How are you going to put that inside of you? That's death.
Like something alien to the body, right?
Absolutely.
I have 2 questions. I have a thin constitution, and I'm worried that if I eat little, I'll lose even more weight. That is, I lose weight easily. How is weight regulated in autonomy? And second question, if autonomy is truly our natural life, then why were we given the digestive system?
That's perhaps everyone's favourite question. It's already gotten a bit on my nerves. I always answer, and what's the nipple in a man for example? As if we all knew the anatomy of the body and believed that because something is called digestive system, its only function was nutrition. The fact that modern medicine calls it that doesn't mean it's only that. For example, it's also an expulsion system, in case something enters by accident and has to be removed. If a fly gets in, let it out. It's like a laboratory. For me, it's a kind of important chemical laboratory whose functioning can't be interrupted. In fact, the intestine is our second brain.
That's how it
Everything
works.
is so wonderfully organized. And how can we do to ourselves what we do? I'm willing to talk about this everywhere, in every place. I'm even ready for experiments, because I have many doctor friends.
Answer is
in
way
our chat.
question.
There are doctors of medical sciences and surgeons. But I don't feel like doing tests. We're not going to force any of my practitioners to get tests done. And I don't want to poke my veins either, because it's clear that our results would be totally different from the averages of medical studies.
So it's there just because it's there, nothing more. As they say, you have it and that's it. Why overthink it? Well then, I'll go with the second question.
Yes, teeth are for speaking. And actually, guys, you need to start kissing. If you're in autonomy, or you're thinking of moving into it, I'm telling you completely seriously, the first practice is kissing, and kissing passionately. Not modestly, but passionately 3 times a day. The same number of times you used to eat, now you replace it with kisses, because it's sensitivity, and because the mouth has to do with sexuality, because speech itself has to do with sexuality.
Nastya, we're talking about sensitivity. We want all the senses to harmonize. Touch, hearing, smell. Taste is also...
She didn't answer his weight question. I'm so pissed about that.
Yeah.
Chris is bald?
That's
I'm
Matt.
not, yo.
That's Matt, Nua.
I always sit on this side. And I shave my hair off, yeah. Yeah, I shave my hair off. I went from super long to the shortest I've had it in a very, very long time. Yeah, I'll go for good. I'm Matt. I always sit on this side. You're good. Okay.
No, that's funny. I'm glad we're that much twins. That's W.
But yeah, I shaved my hair 9 days ago, last Wednesday. Very scary. I did it to face my fears, to detach from that, because I'm very heavily identified with my hair. And it was kind of like a spiritual thing, like just like to let go. Kind of like, you know, like how monks have like shaved heads. I didn't want to shave bald. That's scary. I mean, this was enough. That was scary enough. So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, no. Fair
He does look
Nuha.
good.
Fair Nuha. Yeah, Chris has the long hair now. I totally get it.
Yes. It's a switcheroo. It's a bait.
I look great. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so nice.
Yeah, that does look pretty cute.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it showed me that, in other words, I looked better than I thought I'd look. That's what I could tell. I didn't actually think it would look this good. Thank you, fam. We're watching a video about crazy shit. We're watching a video about not eating and not sleeping. These people who don't eat and don't sleep.
It's W.
It's crazy.
It's W if true, and I mean it looks true. It just takes strong willpower to manifest this result. But how are they alive? It's
because they're powered off love. Because
Yeah.
love keeps you alive. It's actually a lie. It's very potentially a lie that food is what we need to stay alive. And I read a book about yoga. It's Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. It's a God-realized saint from like the 50s or whatever, 20s. I read that like a year ago. And there's 2 people in that book that were also, it's called breatharianism. So there was 2 people in that book that were breatharians that they did not eat food. They just survived off pure life force and love and connection with the universe. You know, 1 day of missed sleep takes 7 days to recover from?
Yes, and they explain a lot. I mean, this is extremely educational.
It's very specific. You can't sleep and eat. If you don't sleep and eat food, you're fucked.
Yes,
but if you don't
they're
sleep
linked.
and don't eat, you're fine.
Pretty much the first key is stop eating, and then you don't need to sleep. But if you are eating and you try not to sleep, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Technically, if you eat, you need to sleep.
Because that tolling on the system, it's lethargic, it's toxic, all these things, your body has to process it, it makes you tired.
Yeah, these successful non-eating people, the 2 years or whatever they've been doing this, they pretty much refer to food being a hollow pleasure. It's pretty much a drug, and it's a lie we've been fed since birth. Pretty much you need very minimal to literally no eating at all, and no water as well. They don't do water. Exactly, they don't do water, right? That's another key part.
Yeah, they don't drink water. Water also is apparently
It's just draining.
it's just tiring
it's
and not worth it.
interfering.
You don't need
Exactly.
to influence. You don't need to introduce it into your body. It's all paradigm shattering shit, and it's been really interesting to watch.
Matt and I have been reacting to it for the past pretty much 2 hours.
Super cool.
Yeah.
We found it's 3 videos on YouTube. We watched the first one off stream last night, and we found it so fascinating.
But sleep is healing. Once again, this is a very, very like complex topic, and it is going to dismantle the lies we've been potentially fed since birth. Sleep.
I mean, this chapter is called "The True Sources of Energy" right here.
Yeah.
And
So
we were like in the beginning of it.
So they argue that sleep is not healing at all. It's actually energy draining, and so food is a drug. It's a hollow pleasure that's optional and pretty much shoots yourself in the foot. But sleep is also the exact same thing as it's a hollow pleasure that is not necessary. And they refer to sleep very similar to coffee, where you have coffee it gives you that temporary boost of energy, but then you get that crash, and then the
It's a
next
vicious
day
cycle.
you're gonna need coffee. The next day you're gonna need coffee. So that they say the same thing with sleep. Well,
Sleep
also
plus food.
Sleep plus food because it's a combo. They come together.
Yeah.
But sleep plus food. So sleep, you get that burst of energy. You wake up feeling refreshed, right? But you have that crash because you borrowed energy from whatever. And they
If you
also
find it
say that
interesting-
so much energy apparently is expended in your sleep. It's very
Yes,
fascinating.
apparently it's
very
a deficit
interesting.
of energy.
It's a net loss of energy. It's just like a cup
You
of
know what's
coffee.
very fascinating, and honestly, what's most impressive is how much it allows life to flow. The manifestation acceleration of abstaining from
These
sleeping
people,
and eating.
yeah.
Yes, it's very fascinating. It's mind blowing, actually. Honestly, like I'm gonna continue playing the video.
Yeah, we call it.
But if you're interested in it, just look at the VOD and like watch what we watched.
Yeah,
It's
we
really
refer
cool.
to it as unconstipated karma.
Super cool.
Like she says, instead of it taking years or 2 years to get a result on a project you're working on, you don't. There's no speed bumps. You just go. You just keep on going. There's no intermissions
think
or
about it.
pauses in the episode.
Just think about it.
You just keep on acting.
Think about if you didn't have to sleep and how productive you'd be. And think about if you didn't have to eat or sleep. All that free time opened up. Enough said. I'm gonna play this video.
A sense. Does it switch off then?
The most pleasant thing is to feel neutrality in the mouth.
The one thing I want to say is the girl with the mic. The reason or the way
These two
she
don't eat or sleep.
the way she discovered this is that she had rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune disease, uncurable. She was raw vegan, which is what me and Matt do, and
And
it
eating raw
didn't
foods
fix it. It didn't fully fix
aggravated
it for
her
her.
disease. It didn't heal her disease. It
So
actually aggravated it.
she pretty much tried fasting / not
And
eating,
Then by giving up food, she saw she didn't have to sleep.
and she healed herself.
Yep.
And she realized that this is a lifestyle actually, and it's not life threatening at all.
Fascinating.
It's actually life rebirthing. It's a totally new story.
Because one night without sleep will show you that food is not necessary at all. It's not interesting. In fact, we feed on smells. The human being, in his process of, let's say, psychopathization, lost sensitivity. For example, the fact of tattooing yourself already indicates a strong loss of sensitivity. That is, I only manage to feel something through pain. For me, a scent is enough. But people have simply lost their sense of smell.
Interesting.
With their harmful habits, they stopped perceiving that strong smell that feeds them.
I know that, for example, if you fast for a long time, then even a simple bread crust can seem very tasty.
You know, since childhood, I never understood the bread crust or anything like that. The bread crust has absolutely no taste. It's nothing. If you want to smell it, you can take fresh bread
getting
and
hung up on
enjoy
that.
its aroma, for example, if you still have memories of the past. It's just a
That
habit.
lady's right.
It is they simply
Food's
accustom
appealing
the
when you're
baby
fasting.
and make him addicted to food. Besides, bread doesn't even grow in nature. For example, it still makes some sense when you eat something that's alive and say that we're all fruitarians. Although
Yes.
the whole fall started with Adam and Eve when they decided to try the apple. And this whole story began with us ending up in hell. That's how we ended up
Straight
in
up.
hell, because we tried the apple.
And what happens if, for example, the Earth is exhausted, gives nothing, everyone dies, and only the autonomous remain?
It doesn't matter what you've taken from
What a
nature.
hypothetical.
If some apocalypse happens, you'll already know that you can go without drinking and eating as much as you want.
The reason why she called bread a dead food, even though you said yeast is alive, is because bread has no
It's
hydration,
cooked.
it has no enzymes, it's cooked. You're talking
don't
about
wanna
a
eat
raw
cooked
vegan
food.
here. Raw living foods are always uncooked, and they're from plants. They're naturally hydrating, they're naturally nutrient dense.
That's like saying
They're
a
full
steak
of,
is alive.
They're full of life force prana energy.
No, it's very similar to saying a steak is alive. A cow was alive. When you kill it and then cook the steak, it's not alive. It's very much damaged and killed after you cook it. If you killed a cow and ate its flesh raw, I would say that's alive. That's a living food, in some way. At least it has life force in it still. But no humans be doing that. No humans be wanting to eat
And
raw
no
meat.
one should do that because our digestive system doesn't even work with meat well.
So living
especially
foods
raw meat.
are the diet Chris and I follow. Raw fruits, raw vegetables, apples, pineapples, watermelon, anything. Anything that's living, anything that's not cooked or like pasteurized.
Done. You're safe now.
Have you developed any superpowers?
Yes, I became
Obviously.
honest. That's a superpower today.
And how is weight regulated? Does it change in some way?
All the excess water goes away, and that's it. But if you sleep in autonomy and you're not active, then of course the weight will go away. If you lie around feeling sick, of course you're going to die. That is, you have to run 20 kilometers, do 300 squats, 200 push-ups. That's all, that's the secret. That is, not to think I'm sick, lying down, not eating, not drinking, waiting
It's
for
a
something,
mindset, for real.
not talking to
Yeah.
anyone, not transmitting anything. No,
Wow.
you're an energizer. Active, running, swimming, doing push-ups, telling stories, kissing, loving, interacting, not
Be
taking
passionate.
drugs.
Nastya, what about the cold? Can we go out into the cold with just a t-shirt?
The internal reactor definitely warms you, especially if you don't fill it with water. What does drinking water mean? It's like flooding your internal reactor. That is, if in autonomy you drink water, you'll freeze and start shivering instantly. You'll simply turn off all the energy. No matter what kind of water it is, guys, they've fooled you. It doesn't matter if it's from a sacred spring, mountain, or melted snow, you can't pour anything inside you. You're more than that. You're above that. You're stronger than that. You can't flood your inner source with liquid. 45 degrees plus in the sun in India, even if you're in the sun for 50 hours, you don't get burned at all. That is, the sun doesn't destroy you. There are no sunburns. The only thing is that your hair turns white. It lightens with the sun, so there's no destructive influence from the sun. Therefore, all that about the sun destroying is of course a deception. Where do all those creams come from? I see a person who eats, for example, cooked food and walks all red in the sun like a crab. That means he's doing terrible things to his body. And then
Yeah, when your skin burns, it means your
That's
body's
bad.
full of toxins.
Yep.
You only burn if your body's full of toxins.
skin diseases, etc.
When you do sports, supposedly electricity is generated, but here it's different. Here you simply realize the energy you receive.
The one that's already there.
The one that's already there, you simply realize it, and that's why you don't need to burn it while sleeping.
Yes, more or less. But it's not that you extract it, as if there were a shortage, as if you had to get it. It's simply awakening the energy that's already inside you. And about the weight isn't related to food. I repeat once again, you simply live. You do 200 squats and your muscles grow. In autonomy, your legs become twice as big if you do 200 squats. That's all. And you don't need fat. And if you don't have muscles, then only bones remain.
So these muscles should grow simply from energy?
And you think they grow from bananas or what?
Well, yes.
But that's funny, it's nonsense. I say to myself, I don't know how we lived in that. I don't know what was happening to me. I don't know where I was.
So does it turn out that there's some source of all that energy, and that's where we get it from, and not from some products?
Well, I'm the source. I'm the sun. How is it said in the Bhagavad Gita? Who is Krishna, the all-attractive personality? All-attractive, what does it mean? It means you raise your energy very high, and you really start to attract people's attention. And these people don't let you sleep.
Magnetism.
For example, 50 calls at night, 50 or 100 messages from people you need to work with. Clearly, you're not going to sleep. You have to work with some, with others, and go live on Zoom, where we also have a lot of people.
Does it mean that as soon as you stop paying attention to yourself, you spontaneously fall asleep and then see that half an hour has already passed?
No, you already control it. To sleep, you need to experience emotions like pain, self-hatred, and a lack of will to live. And then
Escapism.
sleep comes.
It is. It's
Well,
escapism.
that is, again,
So sleep.
She worded it perfectly.
She did
actually.
word it perfectly, and that's why it's a flaw in my life. So I sleep too much, and it's escapism, and it makes me not do enough, and it makes me sad that I don't do enough. She said it really well.
Yeah.
a lot of attention to oneself, to selfishness, and after that, sleep.
Sleeping is like renouncing the world. One says,
Yeah, it's
I'm not
escapism.
interested in the world. I'm leaving.
You don't wash yourselves, but if it's water on the outside, not inside, does that mean then that water also destroys from the outside?
You can swim in the sea, in the river, in a waterfall. The water we use in the city shower affects the body very badly.
That's what I thought.
First,
Exactly. She's avoiding city waters. I knew that. I knew that.
you get dehydrated
Gotcha.
immediately. That's why many even had to leave the practice and eat something just to get rid of that dryness in the mouth. Natural water influences the body very well. Second, why shower if you don't smell bad? They tricked you by telling you that you had to use deodorants. This is a scam. Why use them? To cover the smell your body emits? Or this deception about menstruation. There shouldn't be menstruation. I think that's already clear to everyone. There's ovulation, but there's no blood loss. Hemoglobin normalizes because there's no blood loss. Why do women have such low hemoglobin? Because every month they regularly lose blood. And what is bleeding? It's a cleansing. Hemoglobin rises only because you don't lose a large amount of blood per month, which you shouldn't lose. All this is understandable. It's elementary. It's not related to sleep. Menstruation is related to food. That is, generally, menstruation disappears with a raw vegan diet.
Freely said she lost her period on a raw vegan diet. But why does she imply that's a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
It could be good or bad, I think. It could imply malnutrition, maybe. Maybe it's always a good thing then, huh?
No, it's a good thing. Because we've seen this in like some other video that literally only human females bleed.
See, Mel's saying that's not a good thing. That's what...
See, but you've been fed that thought.
Why?
I've also been
Why
fed
is that
that
not a
exact
good thing?
thought. That
I've
it's not
heard
good
the same idea.
Because now you think, oh, I'm infertile or whatever the fuck. Exactly. That's not the case. She's saying you're still creating eggs and the egg is still being released. She's saying that. But she's saying you're not bleeding out. The reason why you bleed out is because the food you're eating is inflaming your uterus and it's literally purging and
we saw a show on this. It was actually very fascinating.
We saw a show on this.
Very
recently we saw this shit.
It's very interesting.
And yeah, literally human females are the only ones that bleed like that. Other animals have a moment of heat and it's not every month.
So I'll say two factors about menstruation and the raw vegan diet. Is one thing, eating raw fruits and vegetables reduces period cramps, but I've even heard to the extreme, it just gets rid of it. Now, we saw Freely say that in one of her videos recently.
We did say that.
And she gave the context like that was a bad thing.
She did. She gave.
And then here, she has the context that's a great thing.
But that's the thing. Freely is obviously very into raw veganism, but she's not that spiritual.
I gotta find that short. Hold the fuck up. I gotta find that. Animals get periods? Some do. In fact, most don't. Hold the fuck up. That was a really fascinating
She's still
short.
pretty much subscribed to the normal thought process there, and that's why she expressed that fear.
I gotta find this shit. Because if I could watch that and like... Because we're on the menstruation topic, so that helps a lot. It's called Fruitarian, what? Here it is. I think it was on this account.
I think it actually was. It was on this guy's channel. That's a crazy one to know.
Yeah. Yeah, these two things. These two thumbnails. Menstruation's not natural. Ovulation doesn't require menstruation. Fascinating. Here, let me link this. I also link this account. Look it. I'll open this up real quick. That's fucking hilarious. Alright, you love menstruation. Okay. I have no opinion about it. I've never had that. So here's the Instagram account of this YouTube channel that we're currently looking at. And I'll show you a short. I'll show you this short I saw. It's very fascinating. Sure. Menstruation is not natural. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says.
Women in our society experience such bleeding episodes. A clue comes from animals. Menstruation is absent in all.
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
So why do most women in our society experience such bleeding episodes? A clue comes from animals. Menstruation is absent in all wild animals except for some primates and rare bat species. However, many overlook the difference in what is expelled in such animals versus women. In animals, the endometrium, a thin layer of tissue inside the uterus, fully dissolves and is reabsorbed, preventing blood loss. In primates, it is either reabsorbed or expelled as microscopic mucus. In women who consume cooked food, the endometrium thickens due to hormonal imbalances and inflammation, leading to heavy bleeding, pain, and cramps, especially if it is fried, non-vegan food. Thus, in wild animals, the endometrium is either retained or expelled in minimal amounts. Wild relatives of the domestic animals do not menstruate. They have mating seasons, called heat, rut, or estrus. which usually happen only once or twice a year. So
I'll leave it at that. Help the females in chat.
The
Who
first
thought-
5 steps.
First of all, this is not a solitary path. Do you remember the movie about Freddy Krueger? Do you remember what it was about? Those students couldn't sleep because Freddy came and killed them in their dreams? And it turns out it has a very deep meaning. I would never have thought as a child that it was true. And what did they come up with?
I'll talk about menstruation more. Forget everything you know. Yeah, literally. That's all I could say. Because we are living unnaturally. And because we're living unnaturally, everything that we think is natural is actually unnatural phenomena that we are so accustomed to that we think it's normal.
They united and woke each other up. It's the same thing we do. That is, we wake each other up. It's always a community, always people. That is, without people, of course, you can't wake up. And it's great that you have a community. It's great that you already have so many people. This is your practice, not mine. It belongs to everyone. And it would be great if you implemented it in your life, or at least tried to do it.
There already exist such states. Even when you're sleeping, you're still conscious.
What are you
This is the negative guy, right?
Yeah, that's
He's seeming more positive.
X-God. X-God's turning around.
He's seeming more bright about it.
X-God's like, fuck food.
talking about?
The physical body rests and you kind of continue.
And why does it need to rest?
Because it gets tired.
No, it doesn't get tired. It's impossible for it to get tired. That doesn't exist.
If you regulate your life, you're already the creator of your reality. Having eaten half a pear, who then assumes that reality?
Certainly not me.
And who?
Everybody would like to have everything without anything costing. There are certain rules.
And who creates those rules?
God.
Who interferes in your reality?
I perfectly understand that you want to think that if you're creators, everything is allowed to you, even that you can gobble down a lamb.
Yes, for example, I allow myself to eat half a pear.
At this level, you can certainly allow it. Nothing will happen. You'll just have to...
No, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the autonomous. An autonomous already regulates his life. If I'm the creator of my life, I regulate it.
You can do everything except make mistakes.
And what if that's also a program?
Maybe in your case, yes. In mine, no.
And if, for example, you allow yourself to include in your life the permission to eat half a pear and nothing happens, or is it programmed from the start?
I've already answered that question maybe 500 million times, really, because everyone wants to eat a pear, but the pear no longer interests me.
No, I just don't understand in your reality. Who then intervenes in your life?
No one. I simply no longer want the pear. Yes, there was a time I wanted it, and now, no longer.
I understand, but do you recognize that there's something above you that regulates this life?
Do you mean the rules?
Yes. Who creates those rules? Who prevents you from breaking them?
What's
So
that?
there's someone else above who regulates this?
Why is she coercing her into God?
Right,
What is
why
this
is
about?
she also not
Also, why is she a God
all
denier?
resistant?
Why is she actually so
Why is
hesitant
she so
to
resistant?
acknowledge God? Why is she so hesitant to
Right?
even mention his name?
Right?
What the fuck?
Just say it.
Shocking.
Interesting.
Even if it were me, that's fine with me. The story of the Garden of Eden is very real. You begin to
That's
understand...
exactly it.
To talk about, but if apes have periods, yeah, animals have periods, and the idea is it being, to what degree of pain and, well, displeasure. You know, like, it happens, but it can be an effective and clean process, and modern lifestyles make it a more arduous process. That's why I
It
can
literally
describe it as.
that short literally debunked it, saying certain primates. That's a primate. There's exceptions. Maybe they have inflamed uteruses. I don't know, but yeah,
And
maybe
also it
they're
could
not
be-
eating fully.
I don't know.
I know some primates eat insects. and
I don't
maybe
know
that's the issue.
shit about the female body.
No, I don't know either.
I'm just trying to help anyone.
But
I'm trying to help anyone with the
we're-
info I found interesting.
This lady here is telling you that is not the case. You're not supposed to have one. I've heard that before.
She does it good.
is good and what is evil. Let's say that without knowing all this, a person starts...
One thing's true. Do you really think God designed the female body to bleed out and lose nourishment? No.
This is designed perfectly. And punishment, bad karma gets bad results. Pretty much losing your nourishment through a monthly period is a bad result. It's technically a bad result. I would hate to bleed out every month. That would suck. I wish I had a raw vegan girlfriend to understand better. I don't. Yeah, I can't. But what I will say though is that this is like God did not design females to be iron deficient. It's waste, it's cleaning. That is what the perception of it is. And so rest is also, sleeping is also healing and recovering, and eating is also nourishing and energizing. But yeah, these are all old belief systems. None of this is true. These are all old belief systems that this video and Matt and I are learning to
This video says none of this shit is true. This shit says forget everything you knew.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do, actually. Just toss away all your belief
Another
systems.
thing is, do you think urine is bad for you? Because if you think urine is waste and just peeing in the toilet is a truth, it's pure waste, it's wrong. It's actually not pure waste. Actually, as you can see, these people don't consume anything. So what happens when you don't overfill the body with excess hydration, you don't expel your urine. What happens is urine actually goes into the bladder. We saw this on scientists researched an incredible yogi sadhu in India.
A yogi who fasted for
who did exactly this
months on end, pretty much, if not years, and
they watched what happened inside his bladder. His body produced urine in his bladder, and it reabsorbed into the system. Urine is not waste; it's actually nutrition.
It's waste. It is waste. It's waste and good. It's kind of weird like that.
It's two ways. If the body's toxic, if you're eating shit foods, your urine is terrible. Yes. If you're eating shit foods, your urine is terrible. That's facts.
I think the facts are if you're eating food, you develop so much that you have to expel it. But then there's a system balance that you actually can have that you if you don't consume. Kind of like with water, like what you're saying. Don't have water, and the body doesn't need more water. It's all mind blowing.
Autonomy. He eats half
I'm not
an
going to
apple,
understand.
and for
No,
example,
this is mind blowing. Belief
suffers a
system
betrayal
shattering.
in the family because he traded true love with a person for a false love with food. Important problems immediately arise. The person knows nothing of these rules. He practices in parallel. Take this information as you wish.
So all this energy comes from the source.
The inner truth, yes. The source, the higher self, God, who once was a father, may have stopped being a father. Dad, I'm already independent. I want to walk by myself. That is, every father, if we consider the figure of God as paternal, is interested in his child becoming independent, and later even surpassing his own father. I love astrology with the concept of autonomy. As soon as you eat something, your Lilith, the so-called false or sinful part, completely devours your destiny, and everything starts to happen in another way. That is, all those false programs are activated, and you go by a false script.
That's exactly what
That's
I was
fear.
asking
That's
you.
fear.
That you stay in the source, you simply feel that you don't need to do it, and that's it. Like, you don't betray yourself.
Yes, yes, it's not mine. Simply, it's not necessary.
So the Illuminati or higher government or controlling bodies tell us to eat food to keep us in a state of fear and sickness. That's possibly the situation.
Yeah, it's very possibly the plot here.
I want something else. I understand that it's a false desire. It's not my desire, not the true one.
You could say that you go by the destiny that's written for you through corrections, and not that you form it yourself. That is, you go down to the level where you go by the destiny prescribed for you, and you don't remove anything in it. That is, you simply go through the correction.
And why? No, on the contrary, you form it precisely when you free yourself.
No, I mean when you start eating again, when you slip up.
Yes, then you simply enter destiny. You step into that much-mentioned karma, but only with autonomy do you release it quickly. This is what happens. If you're on an omnivorous diet, you don't notice those causes and effects. That is, you'll get a kick in the backside, but much later. You won't even see that it was related to that. And when the body is clean, you get a response, karma, exactly within 5 minutes.
Marina, you've recently started the transition to autonomy.
That
Give us
reminds
your
me
most basic recommendation.
Of when I had that ultra coffee, and within like 5 minutes I had 2 red bumps show up on my arm, or whatever the fuck.
Gotcha. Well, she was describing how bad karma can take longer,
and be more abstract. She's saying that when you're in an autonomous mode, that your good results come fast.
She said when you're just well, she said she was saying you said good results. She's talking bad results. Bro.
No. She said the bad results take longer and can be abstract. They don't seem correlated.
No, bro. She was saying when you're on an omnivorous diet, you can create sins, and then the sins could be the result of the sin could be so delayed you don't even see the connection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but she's saying when you're eating clean and you create a sin, the result is within 5 minutes. You'll see the connection instantly. Is what she's saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
First, I did 24 hours and saw that I felt good, but intense cleansings started. Bruises on the body temperature rose a lot, the skin was clearing, everything started coming out.
Didn't you sleep or eat from the start?
No, I did sleep, and suddenly, around the 4th day, I realized I was simply looking at the ceiling and didn't want to sleep. And sleep is strange. You fall asleep and it throws you out. You sink somewhere and it ejects you, and you're very uncomfortable because of it. You get up and your husband is sleeping. You have to find some space because everyone's asleep. It's all quiet. You have to improvise. And I found a spot for myself in the bathroom, set up the sewing machine and made myself a workshop. I put in a lamp, put on some music and sewed all night long. A great capacity for work comes out that you don't understand where it comes from. You don't rest. You're in the sun with no hat. You're simply always doing something, and that's a force. Then suddenly you realize you can do it 2 days, then 3. Along with the cleansing, psychoses appear also. You start remembering all the offenses. You thought you had forgiven them, but no. I remember once a very close friend kicked me out of our joint business, and I always told her, Tanyushka, I forgave you for that. Well, not at all. I hadn't forgiven her. I called her and swore at her as much as I could. And we'd been friends since we were 18. And then suddenly, with autonomy came understanding. I told her, Tanya, you couldn't have acted otherwise. And I understood that now I had really forgiven her. You rewrite the past. And I said, Tanyushka, how good that you kicked me out of the business. Because you wanted to save your family. Because your husband told you to do that. Everything was registered in her husband's name. And I rewrite it all differently. And I see the beautiful life I had. You rewrite your past. And you understand that you were happy. And all grudges, anger, and rage go away. You begin to love this world, and there's no feeling of resentment towards it, and there's no feeling of fear.
Marina, how quickly did your addiction to food go away?
It hasn't gone away yet. I like a nicely presented dish. I love eating cabbage, chewing it. I want to chew and spit it out. I love that crunch. I like eating with Vietnamese chopsticks, and it doesn't go away. It's like an anchor. Be a good girl. The more I practice it, the better I feel. And now I only have zucchini, cucumber, and I can eat a few nuts to satisfy my addiction. And then I stay at home. I don't go anywhere. I know for sure that if I go out now, a brick could fall on my head. That already happens. At first, I laughed at it and didn't tell anyone because everyone thought I was crazy. All my friends freaked out. They said I belonged in a mental hospital. Everyone drifted away. And then they came back. And now one of my best friends says to me, Marina, live your life.
People die from the idea behind someone who's he dies from starvation. Well, first of all, the 2 keys is you don't eat and you don't sleep. Both those things cause like fatigue and lethargy and inertia. So that's the first thing. And secondly, their perspective is from love. The starvation and dying perspective is fear.
Yeah.
So they stay
it's
active.
Forced upon someone who's under the belief system that they need food. So if you're under the belief system that you need food, then you're believing now that if I don't have food, I'm gonna die. And that belief system really manifests it. You die.
Yeah, so the starvation mind says food's a necessity, but their mind says that food's a choice. And in fact, it's a choice that holds them back.
The moment the choice is made, it's an iron will, you no longer have the fear. So now that you no longer have the fear, you don't manifest the death, the disease. As you can see, they look totally fine. They have great body weights, in fact.
So a key thing is staying active. They talk about insane workouts.
They say
200 squats.
They say insane regimens.
200 squats. I saw someone who runs like 5 miles a day. It was 5 miles.
It was 50 miles, bro.
Was it 50 miles?
It was 50 miles.
Well, that guy's fucking crazy. Yeah, that guy's crazy. He ran 50 miles a day, actually. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Mel, that was my question as well. I was like trying to remember this. And we looked into breatharianism like years ago as well. And that was the same conclusion. Is that it comes from a wrong mindset, a fear mindset and a wrong approach.
And also, Breatharianism is like it's literally focused on breath, whereas this concept, they don't even give a shit about that.
She specifically said no prayer.
The idea is you stay super occupied with your passions. It's a very passion-based lifestyle. They just act. They stay active with movements and exercises, but also they stay active with their passions, whether it be sharing with people.
There's 1 minute left. Let me just finish this video.
Happiness is setting the table, treating guests. Now I feel perfectly fine at the table with them. I comment on their salads, only I don't eat or eat very little. I still like a little tomato juice. I want to give up food completely because I understand it's poison. Because afterwards the body feels uncomfortable. You just feel like sitting. You sit stupidly watching TV, switching channels while you had a pile of plans. But that day you do nothing. And as soon as you're in autonomy, everything goes well for you. You do this paper, you finish that, you read that.
It's funny, the way they describe food is how I feel about cooked food. And I feel like it doesn't have that much of an effect with raw food. Like, I don't feel bogged down.
Honestly, that's how I felt after my raw meal today after work.
I didn't feel bogged down.
I felt fine because I was done with my juice. I was kind of fasted at that point. And then I had literally I had dragon fruit and jackfruit, both frozen and thawed, but super high quality.
I didn't feel that at all.
I felt depressed off of it.
And there's like, by us being an experiment, I wasn't depressed off of it. So what does that mean? It means there's no correlation. If I wasn't depressed at the meal and you were, it means there's a different factor at hand there. A different thing caused your depression. Otherwise, we would have both been depressed if it factually caused it. That meal factually does not cause depression because it didn't give me it.
Events unfold instantly. They call you, you go somewhere, everything's clear and sharp. You don't forget the keys, you lock the door, everything goes constructively. I'm very glad to see so many of you, and you're all so different in age. I'm glad you invited us and that I can share with you.
Cool. That shit's fire. Really, really interesting.
Super awesome.
Thought-provoking. What more can I say?
Super awesome.
What more can I say? So fascinating.
Yeah, it's really cool.
8:30 p.m.
You've pretty much been awake for 24 hours. Correct?
Yeah, I have. But the problem being I've eaten food.
Indeed. So that means you must sleep. Technically, it's because you have eaten.
I still have body on.
It's a healthy choice for you to sleep.
Yeah.
Also, I want to eat during tonight.
It looks so good. Thank you, fam. Appreciate that. Thank you. I feel like I didn't cut my shit even, but
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's gonna grow in. And
yeah, you only let me touch up your back. I didn't touch the front.
I mean, it's fucking easy. All you have to do is just throw the 8 on. But anyway, yeah. Really good video. I understand it a lot better after watching all 3 videos, not just the first one.
Yeah,
I really comprehend the idea that you have to
give
up food and sleep, which, well, that's just a straight up straitjacket. It's a straitjacket to anyone. Tell anyone that it's a straitjacket move. They'll like throw you right into an asylum.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, I was happy to watch that despite it being. I was happy to watch that on stream, despite being highly controversial, just because it's interesting at the very least. No one, I'm not saying anyone should do this, I'm not saying we're doing that. No one should feel obligated to do it or think it's real. Whatever, believe it what you want. But I think it's interesting. And at the very least, even if you don't believe it or you don't agree with it, it's food for thought. It opens your mind.
Yeah, and for me, honestly, I just find it so stunning how much it ties into the Garden of Eden. I find it so stunning how
we've been talking about it a lot recently.
Original sin and pretty much the first sin, the first thing God tempted us with is just eating food.
It's food, yeah.
And they chose to do it. And now every time we do it, apparently it's just devastating towards our karma. According to their thought processes, yeah, it's like if you eat food, you're going to have constipated karma. You're not going to have the passion to manifest your dreams. You're going to take years to decades to figure out how to make your dream come true. Meanwhile, if you just apparently didn't commit these sins, you'd Make it happen so fast. I see that.
It's really interesting.
They point towards all these things: sleep, food, drugs, as all the same thing, which is escapism from life, escapism from your destiny, weakening yourself.
Yeah, it adds constipation. It adds slowness, lethargy, constipation to your life.
It's cool.
Karmic constipation. It's very cool. I enjoy balance and duality. Yeah, it's polarizing. The idea is the most polarizing thing. Which is why I'm thankful I'm not tied to anyone but Chris, because
I'm not interested in liberation.
Yeah, no, like no one. You tell anyone, they're like, yeah, no, babe, I'm looking to not sleep or eat anymore.
Well,
I might give that a try, babe. And she's gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna date you anymore.
Mel, you said you've tried this going without sleep thing, but that's the thing. First off, you're eating food. Second off, it's a gradual transition. You don't just stop sleeping. The old lady who's pretty much her apprentice, she said that she started with 24 hours, then she slept, then she did 2 days, then she slept. It's baby steps.
He is assuming you're eating food. Regardless of you eating on set, I think it's a very safe assumption to think that you, when you're going without sleep, you're eating food. Very safe assumption, because why would you forfeit both? Unless you're intentionally pursuing this. And then if that is the case, then why would you say I enjoy balance and duality? Anyway, I'm someone who appreciates pure sattva, pure purity. And, well, transcendence is obvious. It's an appealing
I can see the superpower combination of no food, no sleep, because Matt and I had only one really good fast, and it was like 4 years ago. And we slept. We didn't stay up. And in the sleep, we consistently had lucid ass dreams, very vivid dreams, which means like we had that super boost in mentality and energy, but we were wasting it in that unconscious state. And technically, they refer to it as like an energy draining state as well, which is interesting. And at the very least, I find it fascinating. And my life has been gradually about renouncing things that hold me back and making space for greater things. So my life has been all of that. I let go of my bondages. And, well, I mean, Chris and I already eat incredibly humbly. We do. We're liquidarian here.
I have my entire work shift, I have just juice. It's just a massive thing of tangerine juice. It's a lot of juice. It's 1,000 calories of juice. And from a diet perspective, I'm thinking like that's ultimate purity.
I'll be back.
And then here I can get information that this is possibly bogging me down. It's so funny. I understand that's so like mind opening and like paradigm shattering that it's hard for me to fathom as well, of course. And if it shows anything, it shows how much lies we're fed and how limited we are.
I just wanted to show this dragon fruit. It's really
so nice.
It's still really frozen, but I'll show you a picture when it's actually defrosted. But it is such a vivid color. It is amazing. Beautiful looking.
It really is.
We had this. Did you take a picture of it?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't take a picture of my lunch either. No. But yeah, to be honest, it's not very flavorful. Dragon fruit is just not a sweet fruit. It's kind of like a cucumber. It really is. It's not sweet at all. But looks amazing and it has a great texture, which is cool. Like they say,
strain your dragon fruit? No. Why would you do that?
They say berry sweet kiwi. No.
What do you mean strain your dragon fruit?
The profile of this is like a very mild, slightly nectary floral, but it's really just floral.
It's very floral. Yeah, I still don't know what you mean by straining. Like putting it through a strainer to get rid of what? What are you sieving? What are you removing from the dragon fruit? The seeds? And I've never had a prickly pear. I've only had dragon fruit. Yeah, one of my biggest problems is fatigue. I call it depression, but it's in the form of fatigue because it's not like, you know, like a full-blown depression. I enjoy life. I love life a lot. And it's just I choose to sleep, and like I choose to sleep like after work, you know, like right after work I can like easily want to crash. Chris and I both wanted to sleep right after work today. We both wanted to do it. That's what I did yesterday. Yesterday, I got home, I fed the cats, and I laid down. I did not want to do anything. Chris made me food, I ate food, and then I lay back down and slept. That's what happened yesterday. Today, I was also tired, but I was gonna resist that feeling. We ate food, and then I was just ready to go stream after that. As a teenager, I was always so confused why no one else felt bothered by eating food, like feeling tired and shit.
Right.
It always confused the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And like people would act like eating a meal like energized you up, like let's go like eat something and then
We
do
actually
something.
relate to this Anastasia girl. She said she had like a natural like disinterest in it. Yeah, we felt repelled by it, how it made us feel. We always felt tired as fuck after it.
Her name's like Anastasia, I think. Or Nastia.
It literally says Anastasia, bro.
Okay, got you.
Her name is Anastasia.
Got you. They were calling her Nastia so much I never saw her full name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I've never seen people complain about it. It's like felt kind of like alienated by that. It's always weird to me.
I think
You get sleepy, you get issues with blood sugar. Well, I don't have issues with blood sugar, and I don't get sleepy from raw meals. I don't get depressed or sleepy from raw meals, but cooked meals, guaranteed. Cooked meals have plenty of downsides that I can experience. I can get fatigue. I can get acid reflux. Bloating. Those are like the three main
If you don't
ones.
mind, I mean, I'm interested in these topics. What is your exact issue with blood sugar? It's supposed to spike, by the way. If you have a meal, it's supposed to spike.
Yeah, blood sugar
But the
always
question
goes up
is,
when you have a meal.
does your
that has
shit
carbs.
stay elevated for a long time? That's the only concern. Low and high.
No, that's not good
That's
enough
how-
information.
That's
Just
how it
that-
works. I'm asking you if it stays
Yeah.
elevated. How long does it stay elevated? For
Yeah, if it's-
hours on end?
The dangers in
Is the
it's-
spike only like 30 minutes?
And the facts are, is if it does stay elevated for a prolonged amount of time, that is a concern, and it's also caused by lipotoxicity. It means you have too much fat in your cells. It prevents the sugar from leaving the bloodstream. Like if I take a blood test, my range is massive. I don't know what that means, unfortunately. Like I know what that range is massive means, but blood
I can
sugar
literally show
spikes
you
with
a very
meal
simple Freely
and-
video on how this works. If your blood spikes
How
a
much
fuck ton,
fat do
that's
you
fine.
consume?
Yeah,
Because you
honestly,
like to glorify
honestly,
fat,
how much
and it's the worst macro you could eat.
how much fat do you eat and how much takeout do you eat? Like
It is-
honestly.
Fat is the worst macro you could eat. It causes disease. Every single one. So, like I know, like you like were a
only
proponent
thing-
for ketosis and stuff. So that's why I talk about it, because that's like not a good idea.
The only thing that fucks with blood sugar is fat. Blood. If you eat food, sugar's supposed to go in your blood. That's how it works. But fat fucks it up. You've been diagnosed with both high blood pressure and low.
So what's the point of your diagnosis then if it's contradictory?
Oh, doctors are just brilliant, huh?
What does this diagnosis mean? I have been diagnosed with nothing. I don't have a single diagnosis.
Because we don't ask for
I
doctors.
don't go to a doctor. I don't ask. I
Don't
don't
give a
fuck.
shit. I feel fun.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a living human being, and I do great because I actually know how to like take care of myself.
I don't need a doctor to tell me I'm underweight, or I have high bilirubin, or I have these things. I don't need them to tell me anything, actually.
You injure your size. Don't you suffer like kind of vertigo, or like kind of like what's it called?
Vasovagal.
Vasovagal, that's what it's called. Yeah, vasovagal. Kind of like the dizziness. Is that chronic? It's not good. I'm curious about your fat intake. That's your blood pressure. I don't know what causes that personally, but yeah, I know you enjoy your fatty acids, and that gets worse with fasting. I mean, I think everyone gets a little more dizzier with fasting. should faint. Got you. I got you. I got you, fam. This is simple, and I got you. You want to send it to our Discord?
I am. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna send it to you so we can watch it on stream.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'll bring it up. Yeah, this should explain to you blood sugar spikes and, well,
So glucose does claim that
caused
blood
by-
sugar spikes are bad. But what
It's
is
fine.
a blood sugar spike? That is what we're going to learn today. So
Pause
when
that.
you consume high...
Pause it, what?
In short, it's fine for it to spike. That's what's supposed to happen. But you just don't want it being long. And if it's prolonged high, it means you eat too much fat. All there is to
carb,
it.
high sugar foods, say this
Sure,
is some
sure,
OJ
understands
for instance, beautiful, sweet, sugary OJ. That orange juice goes to your stomach, excuse the shonky stomach, there's the juice, and then it goes into your small intestine. And I'm just going to represent the small intestine like this. And that's where it's broken down into simple sugars like glucose and fructose, monosaccharides. This is the simplest form. And then those sugars go to the bloodstream and the liver. So this is going to represent the bloodstream and then the liver. So from the small intestine, the glucose is absorbed into the bloodstream. These can be the glucose sugar molecules. And most of the fructose goes through the portal vein into the liver. And this is what we refer to as blood sugar. And now let's just draw a graph so you can understand the spike a little bit better. So this is the bloodstream, it's filling up with sugar. This is your blood sugar on the graph coming up, it's spiking up here. This is the blood sugar spike right here. So yay, fuel has arrived. And then something really cool happens. The pancreas, which I'm going to draw here a little bit dodgily, like there's the pancreas. The pancreas actually releases insulin into the bloodstream to help the sugar get into the cell and to fuel you. So then that insulin, it brings down the blood sugar. And then you have this perfect spike. That's in a high carb, low fat, low protein context. So the insulin helps the sugar fuel you. You receive it into your cells. And it's a big celebration because you feel good, you got the sugar, you get fuel. So spiking your blood sugar is normal and healthy. What the problem actually is what I call glucose drag. And that's where blood sugar is elevated too long. Blood sugar spikes are normal, healthy, and necessary. Eat, spike, repeat. So glucose...
She should have said that verbally because it's so fucking important. But yeah, it stays spiked too long from fat.
From too much fat, yeah.
You think you have just some childhood sugar likely? The sugar you ate as a child has no correlation to any blood sugar spikes you have now.
We're literally like...
Blood sugar spikes directly correlate to what Freddie just said. Has to do with the fat and protein affecting your metabolism and your ability to get it out of your bloodstream. And I repeat, I know you're into fatty acids. I know you like your fat, and it's not good for you to consume lots of fats and lots of sugar. Consuming lots of fats and sugar is how you get diabetes. It's not the sugar's fault, it's the fat's fault. Sugar's trying to do its job, and fat blocks it from getting into the cells.
Straight up, Matt and I are raw vegan nutritionists. We know exactly how this shit works. And if you have elevated blood sugar for a long time, you're eating too much fat. There's just no dancing around it.
The amount of like fat you should have in a day is incredibly small. It's like 6 Brazil nuts.
Really,
or
6
half
Brazil
an avocado.
nuts, half or 1 avocado. That's it.
That's all you need.
1 tablespoon of peanut butter. These are the values. You should not be having more than that. Definitely no cooked oils. Cooked oils are a big no-no. That's a lot of fat and it's invisible.
My issue is anyway. In all fairness, it doesn't seem to be productive, and I'm unconcerned. That's all I can say. I don't think this is productive.
Yep. It's cool. I was just shining a light.
Yeah, that's all we were doing. Appreciate that.
So yeah, you want to look at some CS skins?
I'm down. I'm down too. I was happy to do that. I wanted to do that as well, but I was hoping that you still wanted to do that. All right, cool. Cool. I want to see Nomad Sapphire. I want to see some Black Pearls. I want to see Paracord gems too. Yeah. Paracord sounds nice. The thing's so cheap, it's insane. Stupid. By the way, Mel, if you actually wanted to pursue that conversation, I'm gonna need you to be less vague and more honest. That's all. But if you don't care, that's fine. I don't need to talk about it. Yep. When it comes to like we said, nutrition, we're pretty clairvoyant on it. We're healers. Yeah, and I'm recently learning, and I've recently discovered that food is possibly obsolete, which is hilarious. But I could roleplay and think it's good for now. Yeah, we'll pretend it's normal for now. I don't feel lethargic off of it, at least raw food. However, I would be delighted to experience that it actually is. I'd be like, wow, that's sick, great. Now I can start working towards not having it. That's what I feel. Bro, no cap. If we became autonomous, we become autonomous. That's simple. Dang. Okay. You know? I heard you said, bro. Let's keep it at the tab, actually. There's no way. It seems this original sin is true and potent. Okay. That's used against us. Alright, so let's first get into our server so we can look at skins. I got these two sapphires here. Look at these first. They're pretty much arbitrary, but they look decent. And also, Dust 2 is like not even the greatest map to look. It's like a bad map to look at skins. It's literally a bad map to look at skins, but I'll go on anyway. I know the good spots. Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, T platform isn't that good? Yeah, anywhere works really. A rep, I mean, yeah. So off rip is a dark angle and it looks good. Bright angle. Dope. Looks great. Big fan. Very vibrant. This is a dark angle and it's still nice. This is a bright angle right here. That's great. That looks fucking phenomenal. This is the brightest it gets right here. Cool. All in all, I like this. I like it a lot. I like it. I'll just compare this directly. These two. It's got a dark splash on the blade. On the middle, yeah. This one has a more... It's more even. This is very even, bro. Yeah. I fuck with it heavy. I fuck with this one so heavy. It's also rank 17 flow. It's wild. 005. That's nuts. This one's super clean. This one's super clean. That one's nice. I'm just going to drop it. You know what's crazy? It's 952. That one's 841. It's a 111 difference. That's a 111 difference. I like its inspect. It's fun enough. Can I just hold this and like it does it forever? Oh, it just does the spin shit. Yeah, because I just hold this down forever. That's hilarious. That's actually really funny. It has two inspect animations. It has the standard one and this little flippy one. That's cool. I like this. It's nice. Yeah, I like it a lot. Would you mind eating fire food? I mean, I see what you share, but I don't know what you eat. And I'm not going to pretend to know what you eat. And what I do know is from conversations, you glamorize fat. You like ketosis. That's not up. You can comment about your fat intake or your ketosis for a second, or keep on ignoring it. And then it just won't go anywhere. This is really sexy too. That's really nice. That's super fucking nice. No lie. No lie. I like it. No, let's go sapphire.
Nah, bro.
No, let's go sapphire.
In the dark there? Let's go blue steel.
No, let's go sapphire. And ruby obviously slaps. Yeah. Boston. I think I like sapphire a lot on this knife. Let's see paracord. I also want to see huntsman as well, but let's see paracord first. I'm on my watch list. Let's see this. Very cool. Paracord. Sapphire. So cheap.
Insanely cheap.
There's a light blue line at the tip there.
It does.
That's the inspect. Interesting. It's weird.
I don't like that inspect.
Does it always do, or does it have like a 2-1?
Oh, that's actually all it is. It's inspect.
Right, it has that only. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there's that
It
one.
flips it too. Such a rare inspect though. This is a cool inspect. It felt rare in the beginning, but I hit it again.
That's way better.
It is better. I'm glad it has 2 like Nomad. This isn't a good pattern though. I don't like this pattern. There's a flat blue line there. I don't like that. This is nice.
That's way better.
That's some wear. 0.07. That's why. This is minimal wear. Wow. Okay, yeah. I didn't know this knife could wear, but it can. I see it. What do you think about this one?
I like the pattern.
Oh, the pattern's great, but I'm saying like this knife
This
on
knife
sapphire.
this knife
It's
has large.
kind of mid, no? Is this nice? Another double O, but has the light blue line there.
That one's a good one. I like that one.
It's pretty cool.
I mean,
This is a good
overall, I
too.
might like the Nomad more.
I like the Nomad more. I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just kind of misses for me. I don't know. I'm using black pearl on this. No.
Black Pearl and Dust look like ass, bro.
I know. Well, Dust is a really bad map for well, I mean, I could max it out and just abuse it right here.
I know.
Okay, so I don't really fuck with the black pearl too heavy. The sapphire was better, for sure. On both knives so far, sapphire is better.
Yeah, I mean, Black Pearl's kind of not that lit.
No, it's not that, but it looks really good on butterfly, that's for sure. Better than paracord.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty good pattern too. Not a bad one. About some ruby on this. These are all like low float. Double O. It's decent. Definitely nice. It's decent. I get in the sunlight. I like black pearl on this one. I feel like it looks very purple, so I like that. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah.
I would never get Black Pearl over Ruby or Sapphire.
What do you like the best?
Well, I'm biased. I like Ruby a lot. I like Sapphire a lot. But I have a blue lineup. I have a
Yeah,
blue
I'm just
loadout.
I didn't ask like for your lineup.
So-
I'm just saying which one you like the best.
Nah, I like Sapphire maybe equally.
Yeah, so
It's
Nomad
whatever
Sapphire
color
is
scheme
cool.
you want to go for.
What's I like a Talon Sapphire. Fuck it.
Sounds nice.
It's directly expensive. It's clean.
That's actually ice as fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely clean as fuck. It's such a light blue one too.
This is a light blue one. It's got a purple
light
corner.
blue purple base in the sunlight. Yeah, get the actual inspect.
Looks great.
Yeah, this is pretty.
That looks stunning, actually. I love it.
I do fuck with this. Freak has good taste for that. With my glove, I don't think I like Talon for the white handle with my glove.
Yeah.
Like the contrast is also nice. It's really whatever you think about it, but I think with like a leopard, the leopard print would look really good.
Yeah. Even my glove is lighter. It would look better.
Here, I'm gonna swap chairs. You can search knives and shit.
I mean, I don't really have to search knives. I pretty happy with what I saw, but
I'm not gonna look at anything.
this is probably actually like my favorite I saw. And it's pretty much worth the price tag. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Hi, sweetie pie. Oh no.
Does this wear? Like a .03, what does this look like?
No, it doesn't wear much. If it's factory new, you won't see wear. And you have to go on screenshots to fully tell, but it won't wear.
Cool. I really
Yeah,
wouldn't give a shit
float
about my
doesn't matter, it's all
float.
about
Dude, I
pattern.
would not. If it doesn't wear, I don't give a shit about my float, to be honest.
Yeah, point
As long as it's a good pattern and a good price, that's all I care about at that point.
Facts. It does not, unlike a karambit, it does not have to be 00. Karambits have to be 00. You wanna check chats real quick? Just go to the tabs of YouTube and Twitch. Chris, I really thought you were Matt. Yeah, Nico too.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Everyone's confused.
You're kicking my shit.
Yeah, you're good though. You got a different map. Dust is a bad map. But we can do whatever. Whatever you want to do. Knife, map, I don't care. I'm willing to look at gemstone. Paracord is kinda like not it as a knife though, you know? Hi, sweetie pie. As you can tell, mommy, we're quite busy. I'm sorry you have minutes. Maybe let go of them. Give that a try.
This doesn't have gamma, right?
No,
it's
no
not
gamma
that,
on that.
right? Well, I am curious how
I have
phase
9
2
as
looks on
gamma.
it.
Flip knife. Bayonet. Yeah, check that one out. Look at the XI one too.
Sapphire way nicer. I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah, you're picking a gem.
Yeah, I know, obviously,
Face
but
forward, be a
the
problem.
price isn't even really that much different. Like, yes, it's nearly double the price, but Sapphire looks way nicer. Yeah, Talon would be cool. I'll take it down.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just can't get behind Talon, even though it's like so nice. And for the price and value.
Gamma, phase 2. We're already on no float.
Yeah. So yeah, let's look for good patterns. I'm best at looking at these on inspect screens.
This shit's dumb. Fuck the price tag, honestly.
Honestly, it's too expensive.
Fuck the price tag on that shit. Dude, I actually really hope the CS market drops.
Yeah, but it's curious to say what would make it drop. Like, it's not like it's a company and like, it's not like it's Bitcoin where like collectively everyone can decide that Bitcoin's gonna drop. Like, if
It's people, yeah.
if Karambit fade, Dopplers can drop, but fade stays the same or something like that. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's people liking the game less, or people not wanting to give in to these shit prices. But
love you.
CS market just is up. That's all it is. Yeah, nah, that's not it. Too expensive.
Sheesh. Hope
Just
the stream
ass.
can hear that. It's really bad. Hopefully this is my headphones. I'm pretty sure it was.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't fuck up your headphone cord. Look at Butterfly phase 2. It's so sexy. It's 10k, but it's so sexy.
Butterfly phase 2 normal Doppler?
Yeah, of course. I don't think phase 2 Gamma looks good on Butterfly. It just doesn't. It's so fucking nice. This is definitely like would be like a #1 map that I would want. No cap. Without it being a gem. It's stupid though. Black Pearl Butterfly is one of the best Black Pearls, that's for sure. I love you. Like, we can hang out. Like, you can send us share. We can connect. Oh, yeah. Let's on this chair with you. Alright. Well, then, you are choosing to be in a
Ice! Quite frankly, yeah, if I'm spending in the ballpark of 8k on a skin, Karambit phase 2 or this is like equal tier, obviously.
Karambit Gamma phase 2 or this Doppler phase 2, yeah, for sure.
They're for sure really close.
Yeah, no doubt. Even Karambit normal phase 2 is really nice.
It's cool. It's definitely cool. Honestly, just curious. It's a humble skin, no doubt.
The phase 4 is actually a fake sapphire.
It's nice. You need a low flow on this skin. You need a low flow on this skin.
It's really expensive. I thought it was in the 2K.
Dude, it's fucking expensive, man.
It's double the price I remember it being.
It's a nice pattern too.
It's nice. It's definitely nice.
It's mirrored? Yeah, it's mirrored.
No, stop.
This is very nice.
It's like busy. Yeah, I literally begged on the chest. Yeah.
This is 2.9. Doesn't seem to wear that much. Yo, Butterfly Slaughter is pretty fucking cool, actually. Butterfly Slaughter is damn cool. But I'm not in the market for a red knife. I don't know.
I think you're looking too deep into it.
I know. I hear that.
Go on Butterfly phase 4. It's a fake sapphire, I promise you.
This is fucking cool.
The phase 4 on Butterfly looks good, bro. Check it out.
I love my Karambit Slaughter. That shit was sick.
Slaughter, I've always felt with Slaughter.
I always love Slaughter, yeah.
Yeah, Butterfly Doppler.
Butterfly
phase
Doppler.
4, rather, my bad. Yeah, that's a good fake sapphire, on God. It works well on this. It has very little black. I actually looked at plenty of patterns and they pretty much all look good.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's nice. That's not even a great pattern, but yeah, it's nice.
And the handle actually has an authentic sapphire color on it, unlike sapphire itself, which has like a light green. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Check chat.
Yeah.
Mainly Twitch, but.
Yeah, no, seriously, the switcheroo on the long hair. I had a feeling it might trick some people on this stream because we haven't streamed in a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, I always sit on the chair I sit on.
And now, yeah, I feel like people should know what side we sit on, but I guess not.
I don't care if it's Snapchat, I would see it.
It's on the back side.
It's dark as shit. It's actually got a really big black spot on it. This is not a good one. It's just cheap. That's all people like about it. It's just cheap.
That 6,000 was cheap.
This one?
Chats.
Yeah, it is.
Double up.
How is it? It's got a black spot on it too.
Yeah. They always have a black spot.
This one was nice. This one's genuinely nice.
You want the black spot towards the tip.
Yeah, it's near the tip. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Makes it pretty much like fully blue.
This one looks very fucking nice. Yeah, it's a cool one. It's a cool one.
That one's 6K? That's the 720.
This one's no, this one's 734. 7.3.
Yeah, I was surprised that one looks pretty good.
Butterfly Slaughter is cool. Butterfly Slaughter is def cool.
Tiger Tooth is like 2K. Not like this. Yeah, look at the Gamma phase 2. Or phase 1. This
is in the more affordable range, honestly.
It is. It's somehow actually a valid price. This is nice. This is dumb fucking nice.
There's a dark spot.
Has a dark spot in the center, obviously, but
Yeah. What about that one? Double it too. It's fucking crazy. Dark spot.
you might always have one.
You know, it's always, dude. My problem with butterfly is that it has such small real estate. They barely.
This one's one of the better patterns.
Nah.
This is one of the worst patterns. You don't like
Hardcore
that?
disagree. That is so much dark spot and at the very tip. Yeah. I don't like that. I'd rather it be in the middle.
See,
Yeah, I personally didn't like that one.
it's like the same exact shit.
That one's nice. I mean, they're all flawed, in my view. Phase 2 is dark. All gamma Doppler butterflies are dark, which is why it's cheaper. They're always dark.
Wow, it actually is cheaper than
It's
Crown
dark.
Bit.
It's dark. That's
It's
why.
cheaper than Crown Bit.
You'll see, it's not really good.
This one's a good one. It's got green. It's got dark baseline tip.
Sandwich and dark.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. I see that. Stuff cool as fuck.
That's an awful pattern. I wouldn't hold it for longer than 5 seconds. You're literally carrying a bad pattern.
I don't care, bro. It doesn't matter. You already saw. This is a nice one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a genuinely nice.
It's got one. It's got one. It's on this part there.
It's very nice.
Near the thumb.
It looks good. I like how you can put it to move your thumb to show.
That's like a golden.
Well, yeah, the dark spot always has a golden look. That's how it
The entire knife has golden like there. Like yeah, the dark spot, but like even the bright spot has like a certain shine that because the blade bends there, it has a different lighting. Whoa, like right there I saw like a big yellow. I don't know. Like
right.
literally
To the right.
I don't know. It's like jumping off. I found it.
This was good. You found a good one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's 7K though. Cool.
Gas pack, no cap.
Definitely gas pack. Definitely gas pack.
Gas pack.
Autonomous.
Autonomous.
What?
Yeah, I see why. I mean, like, phase 2 fucking dunks on this. Phase 2 absolutely dunks on it. That's pretty much the reason why. I remember looking at this skin and it was like
2000.
2000.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me vomit.
Yep. I mean, isn't that, yeah. It's crazy.
It's dark. But the map also sucks. I like the sapphire a lot. Gotta wait. Nom. You're very difficult, Cat. Very difficult.
Your feet are all together, kid.
I'm sorry you have ideas that we don't actually bring to your reality. So sorry. Pretty lit. Definitely one of the better gems one can get.
For sure.
That is for sure.
For sure. It looks great.
A perfect pattern, no cap.
That one's still for sale?
Yeah, it's just 3K. It's really nice.
Skeleton's cool.
Yeah, I don't really like. I'm love-hate with skeleton. It's hard for me. It's a cool knife shape.
I fuck with it overall. It's a good knife. It's a good knife. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we watched a video. We watched videos about eliminating obstacles. Yeah. I could watch another video of the bald guy. I wouldn't mind seeing his alien speak.
I'm down to hear that
Let's
alien
watch it. Yeah,
talk.
let's watch it.
Yeah. Lead us.
Yeah, lead us to Breatharianism.
Yeah, we'll see more of that shit. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
after that video, I could probably close.
Oh,
stream.
yeah, for sure,
I want to hang out with
same.
the cats, walk around outside.
Same.
All right,
Cool.
let's see. What's the boy got? This is 37 minutes. 10 minutes. This guru is very fascinating to me, actually. But I want to see this interview. 4 years without food, water, and sleep. Being in 6 dimensions at once. Hilarious. And you know what? It's my Karambit 593. Love that. Alright. What's he got?
Is it true that you haven't eaten, drunk, or slept for over 4 years and are completely autonomous? Yes, not eating or drinking. That's true. As for sleep, it's not the same sleep as before. It's a different, unforgettable state. You switch to another perception, another space, another dimension. You remain awake, but on different levels of self-awareness. I only urinate occasionally, since the body interacts with water regularly and absorbs it through the skin. I haven't even gotten into bed in a long time. Seriously? Yeah. In terms of percentage of time, do you spend more time in our material world? Do you see your hands the same way I see mine? That is not quite correct. It is not a percentage ratio.
Wait, he's also Russian, bro. I know, right? They have it different over there. They have it different over there, bro. Yeah, literally in Russia, they'd be like, I'm just gonna stop.
Crazy.
I'm gonna stop doing all that normal shit.
This shit's so interesting, bro.
I am not only here right now. I am already in six.
You're gonna get kicked out, kid. It's that simple. Like, you're actually annoying as hell. Bye. Figure it out. She just runs away. Alright, well.
Spaces which I perceive exactly as you and I are perceiving now, and I dwell in them. And already when I look at my youngest son, who is only 3 years old, this is a completely different level of self-awareness. With him, we often travel outside the physical world. He still remembers all this. Today I slept well and feel great, but if I sleep only 3 to 4 hours and go to bed late, I feel exhausted. We spoke off camera about your interpretation of sleep. You say you don't need sleep, or do you? What does sleep mean to you? It's like not needing to eat. A person without sleep or food will die unless they discover new knowledge within themselves, unless they look deeper into who they truly are. This needs to be discovered. It's not about rejecting sleep or food. It's about reaching a different depth of perception. And this is personal knowledge that reveals itself from within about oneself and the world. That's why a person can't stop eating or sleeping while they are still the person they were yesterday. They must become a new person, one they can only discover within themselves. Yesterday's knowledge won't allow a person to stop eating or sleeping because they have unconsciously accepted certain rules and continue to follow them.
Yeah. He's talking about this fear dogma and that you need to transcend the fear of needing these things. The moment you accept that you don't need these things, they don't threaten your life. You pretty much unlock it, right? Yeah, he is pretty
Belief
much
systems. It's all about belief systems.
He is riding the edge of self-realization. But yeah, you need a God connection. You need hope and faith. All these things, exactly.
To access new rules, one must temporarily break some of the old rules, some laws, and shake up that rigid structure. And only by breaking the rules within oneself can one gain access to the next set of rules. And with this new perspective, sleep and food become like special effects. They're no longer needed, they fade away. For me, autonomy is not about not eating or not sleeping. I've explored consciousness and continue to do so. And the search for who we are, who I am, where I'm from, and who I am at the core. Beyond that, The transformations in the human psyche and body happen as a continuation, as an addition, to live in this new knowledge and feel comfortable, to feel multidimensional and not think that it's madness or that you're losing your mind. No, it's simply the simultaneous presence in both realms. I noticed that I didn't eat when I was regularly working with people, almost 24/7. For a month, I couldn't remember when I last ate. I began to pay attention to this and realized that I didn't want to eat. Sometimes I drank water, and then after a month of observation, I was just drinking water and still alive somehow. It didn't bother me. It's like a creative person, deeply immersed in something, creating something. They completely immerse themselves in their project or task. They draw, write, compose, and this inspires them. They come as close as possible to the source of their own being. They become the project of the very research they're engaged in. And through them flows the realization, through them flows energy. And they can go without food, without sleep, because they're totally and globally absorbed in something. Their attention isn't distracted by the periphery. It isn't pulled away by the many things the game throws at them. The game's purpose is to distract, to pull attention apart into pieces so that a person doesn't even have time to ask questions. And at what point did you notice, it's night, but I'm not sleeping? I had periods of 2 or 3 days where I didn't sleep, then I'd rest. Then there were people in the daytime, people in the evening, people in different time zones. We constantly called each other, communicated. Weeks passed, and then I started traveling, and I began experiencing what you could call astral travel. So describe that. Physically, do you go into meditation and just lie down, sit, and feel these shifts? Well, yes, it started physically. I just sit down, close my eyes. It looks like meditation from the outside. I haven't even gotten into bed in a long time. Seriously? Yeah. It's hard for me.
So an alternative to sleep for him is AP. He just, well, I mean, clearly he just meditates, which is what we can understand as an alternative is meditation, yoga of sorts. Fascinating.
Me to grasp that right now. I have a comfy chair. I have a meditation mat with pillows. I sit there. I sit here. So, when the family sleeps, I'm busy with something, anything really. If there's nothing to do here, if I've finished all my tasks, then I sit down and go into something else. Do you personally guiding people on dry fasting days? Yes, I do it, both individually and in groups. You need to understand the mechanics. You need to go a bit deeper into the mechanics and understand it. And then, beyond yourself, no one will tell you what you're truly capable of, or prove to you whether this world is real or not. It depends on how much you believe in it, and how you believe in it. It can be more alive, or it can be completely programmed, and you can see all the programs in it, how everything interacts here. It's an exchange of information. A constant flow of incoming and outgoing information. People are like phones. People are biorobots. But they're alive because there's the invisible creator present in each of them, though they don't realize it. You need to build up a bit of new experience. Then your human side will understand how to describe it and not be afraid of it. Otherwise, with yesterday's knowledge, the habitual information, trying to describe these new states, it won't work. It's like transitioning to new, higher vibrational frequencies. That's why you can't endure it. That's why sleep is needed. That's why you need to eat. I fasted for 9 days. That's why you fasted. But I don't fast. Autonomy isn't about fasting. You're just as autonomous as I am. You're simply limited by the knowledge and perception available to you right now. But you are not you, the Eugene who is in this body. This is just one of your manifestations. When you start to look at your game from a higher perspective, everything you've experienced, all the mysteries, will start to become your constant state, your ongoing experience, and then you will see how you play through Eugene. Eugene is limited by his self-perception and knowledge.
Facts.
Your autonomy lies in this access. But you are immortal, untethered to time and space. without the need to eat, drink, and so on. The game of which Eugene himself is a part. That is, you as an individual, as a person. It's just a rule. It wasn't always like that. If starting tomorrow or in 2 weeks I go on a raw vegan diet, eating vegetables and then stop eating, the process will begin. Day 2, 3, discomfort, autophagy, something will happen. I was on the 10th day, I couldn't take it, and I was on water. How could you not drink water for 3 years? You're again approaching it with concepts of materiality, personality. When you understand it a little deeper, when you live with a different perception, then all of this becomes unnecessary. Your body is autonomous. You are just as autonomous. You're simply gaining access to different knowledge and living with a different idea, different rules about yourself and how the world.
It pretty much applies. It's the idea of like you set your limits. It's you set your rule set, you set your limits. It's wild, bro. Indeed. This gotta be APing, bro. That's crazy.
Works. Your body has access to all knowledge. It's embedded, stitched with so many skills and pieces of information that it's impossible to even imagine them as a human being. You gradually unlock them, layer by layer, revealing new knowledge about yourself, and the body stops needing food. It takes time, because the body itself is a product of time and space. It's tied to time and space by default. It takes time to reformat a bit, to upgrade. It all starts with your thinking, with your internal state, with your desire for change. As you go through various processes of accepting the new, mentally, emotionally, physically. The body rebuilds physically, but it rebuilds by itself. There's no need to force it. The key is to change your psychological makeup. Not eating, not drinking, that's just a special effect of the next level of self-awareness. This is not autonomy. It's not defined as autonomy. Not eating, not drinking, or not sleeping. Autonomy is more about your soul or your higher self. That's autonomous. It doesn't eat, doesn't sleep. It creates worlds, creates dimensions, experiences many different things simultaneously in many incarnations and so on. That's the position of autonomy. Everything else is like special effects that complement the knowledge you discover within yourself. So, every person with the right desire can become autonomous. Absolutely everyone is capable of this and can use it as a tool for exploration. So, not everyone needs to live like you? Not everyone is ready to live like I do. Each person must play out their role and come to an understanding of where they are, what they are, and then decide whether they're interested in something new, whether they want to go further, or if they're content where they are. So, it's not a necessity for everyone. There's already a critical mass, and it's almost here. Everything you live by is also belief. You accepted it by default and simply believe in it. Is it some kind of concept you have? Life, death, afterlife, reincarnation. What's your foundation that you live by? Still, we can't escape our brains. We can't escape them, but we can develop them. It's like how you can discover new things, not even through the brain, but through your personality. As a person, you primarily receive psychological experiences. You can develop this personality. It's multidimensional, multifaceted. When you start to independently discover new things within yourself and see how it works, how your inner impulses, desires, and states influence what happens to you externally, you'll start receiving confirmations. This will drive you forward. At first, it's animal fear. At first, it's scary. Gradually, it transitions into a scary but interesting feeling, and fear becomes your driving force. What is fear? Even from a human perspective, it's a safety program that protects you, stopping you from breaking yourself due to simple ignorance. And if you're scared, it means you're not yet ready to go further, to something greater. Should you overcome this fear? Yes, bit by bit, and you start to gain experience. It's like in sports. Do everything you can, and just a bit more. Always take a step beyond the territory of your fear or within it. You must do this. This isn't about overcoming fear, it's about the growth and maturation that you make for yourself. You take a step and realize nothing bad happened, it's all fine. You went a week without food. On the 9th or 10th day, it's tough. If you go through it, it might be hard at first. Then you try once, twice, 3 times, and each time it gets easier. You'll start to understand that it's not physical. You're going through your own limitations, beliefs, fears through this program. And as you go through it, you'll see how it held you back as much as you didn't believe in yourself. You'll begin to grow, to realize your multidimensionality, your levels that you previously didn't allow yourself to access. Then you'll transition to new energies, new vibrations, new dimensions, more interesting, deeper, more alive. And what about diseases, viruses, bacteria, colds, doctors, interactions with them? I don't know, I'm not interested in that. You don't get sick? No, I haven't been sick. And during these virus times, I've always traveled everywhere, all over the world. I don't look in that direction. It's just a different game. Some people need it for something. There are no diseases. I can say a bit about diseases. These games don't interest me. And diseases as such don't exist. The physical diseases that are described and provided to people are meant to control small, still immature humans. It's like religion and medicine. They're rules, and they're needed. Until children understand how the system works, they need some rules. Basic, general, and roughly the same for everyone. And people agree to these rules by default and simply follow them. Beyond the rules, we have a liver, we have a stomach that digests food. Your body, it can be like a locomotive running on coal or firewood, or it can be a spaceship running on energy. And the same organs are involved, only now they will perform completely different tasks. You yourself are energy. If you have a question about energy, about nourishment, then you yourself are the beginning, you yourself are the source, you are energy. And everything else is just a game of description, of describing it. Is this a price or a payment? It is readiness. It is not a refusal of food, of sleep. It is not a refusal, it happened by default. I started searching for what was already within me. I began to explore consciousness, how it works, who I am, where I am. I began to look for this world more deeply. The very process of this search and the regular dwelling in new states contributed to me increasingly going beyond the boundaries of my usual perception. These were meditations, all sorts of practices, shamans. I went everywhere, traveled my world, searched, lived here and there, listened to different masters until I discovered this knowledge within myself. All external masters are merely a trick to convince yourself that within you there is the same master, that all this is accessible to you, and then it is no longer a refusal. You live with a different sense, a different perception. You do not need intermediaries between you and yourself. What should be done with the brain that demands proof? Give it only experience. I too was born, just like you, in an ordinary family with ordinary parents, and I lived there until the trauma. Until I was 33, I lived an entirely physical, material life, doing various businesses in Moscow.
Yeah, that's both him and Nastya, right? They both said 33. No, this is a YouTube channel that translated the Russian stuff for us. It's just using an app. No, I'm not using an app. It's just this YouTube channel has translated videos, and for some reason they're like both Russian or Serbian or whatever. They're both Slavic energies. Yeah, it's really interesting. The most interesting thing about it is it's people who factually let go of bondage. It's people who factually transcend perceived limits. And they show us our potential, and that's why it's interesting.
I grew up there, worked, earned money, lived like ordinary people. And the other side of the coin did not interest me at all, not even remotely, until the trauma happened. And at that moment, everything changed. And what happened at 33? a spinal injury. I stopped walking, broke my back, and so on.
What?
They told me I would be disabled. You would never walk again? They said perhaps with difficulty, but still I would remain disabled. And in that moment there was a state of switching to a different perception. I entered the state you experienced in various mysteries on the retreat. And it happened spontaneously to me. At that moment I simply resisted the information the doctors had given me very strongly. I said no. I felt from within that I wanted it differently. I did not agree. It simply switched me into another state of perception. At first everything disappeared. Then I began perceiving everything differently, as in those shamanic ceremonies. Then I spent almost 3 months in that state, and from that state I completely restored myself. I saw how all this is arranged, how this matter is assembled, how it is endowed with meanings, why it is created, how all these mental constructs are loaded in, all these descriptions, how it is all done. And I restored myself, but it was a process of remembering. And that recovery did not take long. After 3 months I was already walking, and after 6 months I was skiing again. Then that state closed, and the only question I had was, what was that, and how could I find it again? And how did you experience this physically? I mean, they gave you the information, there was stress, depression, that you would never walk. How did it change, or did you make some effort? No, I made no effort. I simply did not want to agree with what I was being offered. And that internal 100% resistance created a situation where I was simply pushed out of that familiar state. And what did the doctors say later when everything had healed? Nothing. The doctor was already in shock the next morning when he saw me in the corridor crawling along the wall, despite the fact that he had said we would only start trying to stand up after 3 days, with corsets. Perhaps this is not something to be told. It was my story. It does not need to be repeated. It was simply the moment when this switch of consciousness occurred, which is not something inaccessible, but something that is within everyone. And for this, you do not necessarily need any stress.
Wow.
It was
It also reminds me a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza. It does remind me of Joe Dispenza, you're right. Yep. He's an alien too. Had that massive health scare. Yeah. And God gives us some pretty crazy stories. Yep. Some pretty crazy adversity to like spur growth or blessings. Yeah. The girl, Anastasia or whatever, she pretty much said, I hope you don't have to go through a health scare for this to happen to you. She's like, maybe you can choose it willingly. But yeah, this person also went through pretty much a health trauma. Yeah, I think a reason to want to change. Joe Dispenza was also spine. He was paralyzed and you couldn't walk. Yeah.
My particular task. And what I regularly share now is about the tools you can use to gradually awaken yourself again and return to this knowledge, this perception. This is not some individuality or exclusiveness. It exists in everyone. It is the next variant of knowledge about yourself, about the world, about self-awareness. In terms of percentage of time, do you spend more time in our material world? Do you see your hands the same way I see mine? That is not quite correct. It is not a percentage ratio. I am not only here right now. I am already in 6 spaces which I perceive exactly as you and I are perceiving now, and I dwell in them. But in our material body, you are here? It is not in our material body. It is one of the manifestations in which I am aware of myself, in which I exist, and this experience is combined with the others, constantly exchanged, intermingled, supplemented. It is not a separate experience. It is not that Maxim moves around. Maxim is just one of my...
He's talking about divided consciousness. That's so fascinating. Simultaneous, divided consciousness. Very fascinating.
Manifestations. So in other words, you are like a cell in an organism that has realized it is a cell, and it turns out there are lots of other cells. This cell can be in matter. It can be part of the liver. It can be part of anything, and not only material. It can be part of energy, which is a constant process within this structure. The physical manifestation is merely the compressed surface accessible to the standard human perception through the senses. And is there any boundary or ultimate meaning there? No, that is the point. There are no boundaries. It is like a cell that has realized it is part of the whole, and it holds the potential of this whole. If you go deeper into it, you can create the same kind of worlds and continue going ever further inward, or you can go upward in the same way and remember where it itself originated, where it draws its source, which whole it becomes part of. The fingers realize they are a hand that is already more knowledge about themselves, about their abilities, then higher and higher. But higher is not upwards as people are used to thinking that spirituality is somewhere up above. It is an expansion of consciousness in all directions. This black and white is understood in all directions, lived through and allowed to pass through oneself as experience. And why is this not just a product of imagination? I am now asking again from the mind, from matter. Why is this not a hallucination? Can you now say that you are not in a hallucination or fantasy yourself? From the materialist point of view, yes, I can. I see myself, I am aware, I feel we are sitting together. I do not see other dimensions, other energies. They are simply not available to your perception. Yes, I can call it that. They are not available to my perception, but I admit that they may exist. You say it is accessible to me. From this position, I could say, Maxim, I live in 25 dimensions and make something up for myself, because you say that if I do not see it, it means it is not accessible to me. You can invent as many dimensions as you like. Or is your world limited only to this material dimension and nothing else exists? There is the search for meaning. There is a state of joy, of happiness, of delight. We came here choosing certain points of reference, a certain concept. We came here from where? Well, choose any concept. We came from Adam and Eve, from a cell. The aliens settled us. There is no beginning, no end. There is a certain game, the process goes on. So why is this a hallucination or a fantasy? Fantasy is our world itself. It is the same fantasy. Why do I allow that this works? Because in your own example, you do not eat, you do not drink, and it knocks you off balance. How can that be? That is the very confirmation of those special effects that open up. For someone, it is a fantasy. But 100 years ago, aeroplanes, ships, all that was a fantasy. An example of development. The internet, telephones, those were also fantasies. Go back not far, just 20 or 30 years. Grandmothers and grandfathers still cannot master all these new gadgets. And in the next 5 or 10 years, they will change even more radically, supplemented with the knowledge of quantum sciences, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, about multidimensionality. Even now, there are plenty of experiments that are justified, documented, studied, and continue to be studied. The measurement of time and space is not something inaccessible to perception. It is something already being explored by quantum sciences. They describe movement in time and space, and the day is not far when this will exist as technology. The speed of light will already be surpassed, movement across the cosmos. We are now on the threshold of meetings with new civilizations as this dimension matures and prepares to move into a new stage of technology. And people without inner knowledge, without inner research, will not be able to find a material way out. They will not be able to manifest themselves. That is why explorers of the inner space are needed, to study where all this begins, our states, our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, how it works. Later, all this will materialize in the form of those very inventions and technologies. And there will appear individuals who will manifest it physically. And how is it for you, living with this knowledge? Absolutely wonderful. If I were only here, it was difficult at first. Sometimes it felt like you were losing your mind, going insane. But being here, and not only here, it is a beautiful world, and it contains so many interesting and simple human things that do not exist in other dimensions, in other spaces. Therefore, this material world is not something bad or wrong. It is a part. It provides an experience that cannot be obtained in places where there is no matter. or where there is no such physics and such processes. One depends on the other, like the inner state attracts external events in which you yourself participate. So why then do you not choose to manifest in this material world, to eat, drink, love, rejoice, enjoy social benefits? This has already happened. It has already happened many times. While being here and in this space, much more is available to people, and many events that have already taken place can be lived differently. Lived more deeply and interestingly, you could say more vividly and richly, they are more alive from the perception in which I am now. Therefore, repeating what has already been is possible. But it is more interesting to do so in a new way. In a new way, it makes a stronger impression and truly remains something alive. So the toys of the material world in the form of programs, white, black, ego, efficiency, happiness, the happiness index, these no longer particularly interest you. All this exists, but it happens by default. And here I am exploring more the presence of a material body and the structure of human consciousness. I am interested in studying time, space, movement in the vacuum, something along those lines. But at the same time, I have a family, 3 children. I really enjoy how I spend time with the children. But I am no longer involved in standard human values. They are just like games one can play. I myself played in business and in all sorts of things. But that was simply gaining experience. Now the value is the children. You recognize in each of them a part of yourself. You see those levels of consciousness on which they are manifested. Because when a child is born, they receive the foundation on which the parents are. And then, if you take an interest in it, you see yourself in all your little things, how you were before, how you thought, how you reasoned. And already when I look at my youngest son, who is only 3 years old, this is a completely different level of self-awareness. With him, we often travel outside the physical world. He still remembers all this. And it is very interesting to observe this life, how you participate in it, how it passes through you, and how in the next version it gathers experience. And does interaction take place on the level of vibrations, words, touches, in everything? With the youngest, it is easiest energetically, telepathically. With my eldest daughter, it does not work that way, because there are her own limitations, stereotypes that I myself passed on over many years. She is now 19 years old, and if someone had told me back then that something like this would happen to me in the future, I would have said, "You are insane." Back then it was uninteresting to me, and I did not even look in that direction. Accordingly, she has more of the same kind of experience. But by sharing my knowledge and telling her about my current experience, within her there is a maturing of vision and perception of the world much more than many of her peers. But at the same time, there is already her own personality, which has gained her own experience, which itself has limited itself by certain frameworks of knowledge. And is there in your life such a notion as loneliness? Oh yes. When you realize that you are alone, and when you often encounter this, you have to constantly distract yourself from it, from the fact that you are playing with yourself. Now, it is no longer expressed so strongly, but in the beginning, I wanted to drop everything and forget.
Dude, this guy is...
He's silly god.
Yeah, I know.
He's literally alien. It's fucking crazy.
No, it's very impressive, bro. He's talking about existing in multiple dimensions at the same time.
Yeah.
No, really impressive guy.
Dude, he literally called himself lone. Like God created this illusion of all these different human beings to get rid of that loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I am lonely. I realize that this is all just me.
All this knowledge. You realize that you are playing with yourself, yourself, and with everyone you communicate with. This is also you, and this human, as you said.
I had a profound experience of this one time when smoking weed, and it scared the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I literally thought, I was looking at all my people I was smoking with, I'm like, hold on. there's no difference. We're all the same. It was a pure ego death. And I mean, it was apparently very spiritually enlightened about, but like, it was scary because, you know, there's a comfort in thinking there's a difference.
Animal fear, and also the feeling of loneliness, it is purely human. And when it starts to manifest, it is as if the ground is knocked out from under your feet. It becomes terribly dreary, or rather, it used to be. Now no longer, now everything is more and more joyful. But in the beginning, the first stages of the transformation of the psyche were quite tough. This is much more difficult than physical, bodily transformations. Loneliness, fear, meaninglessness. Yes, everything here is meaningless. And a person is a creator of meanings. You start to create meanings, participate in them. In a human way, you simply do not have time to be aware of all the little things. You only observe how they unfold, how something happens, something appears, something manifests. The state of inner joy, like that of a child, this joy inspires you not to go mad and to continue remembering further. And therefore I go back, because it is frightening, boring, uninteresting. There are practically no like-minded people. No one understands, no one is aware, no one lives through it. In the good sense, this loneliness, this connection. And you think, to hell with it, let me have a glass of wine and be like everyone else, and ground myself. I went through this many times at different stages of my personal path, until I reached some new resources, new knowledge, understanding. But at first, yes, regularly my mind was blown. This, again, is not about food, because many people get stuck on autonomy, on the fact that I do not eat. This is part of the path. It is only part of these last years. It was 4 years already in February. But the path began much earlier, and regularly as I reached new knowledge, it immediately opened in a new perception. Regularly I wanted to return to that bench in Saransk and have a beer with a friend. And then further on, new players come on stage inside you, and you move to new scenes, gain access to them. You realize that you can return to the sandbox, but the new scenes are more interesting. Since we live in the material world and we are hostages, I call this a cognitive revolution. When we invent what does not exist, based on this we come to agreements, believe in it, build interaction, and these concepts appear for us in the form of ego, in the form of efficiency, in the form of goals. In general, certain egregores, all egregores. The word egregore, what is the best word to replace it? It is a game, it is a rule. An egregore is the presence of rules. It is something not more, not less. Family is an egregore.
I think that's the word that Andrew said. Yeah, egregore. I don't know what that means. I've never seen it before. I had to Google it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a it pretty much means collective consciousness. He said it's a family. This guy's opinion said it's a family.
Work is an egregore. All of this is egregores. Different types of playgrounds with their own rules. And they are very different. Here are some rules, here are others. This does not mean it is the same everywhere. It is simply the existence of rules. The word egregore gets in people's way. It already influences them somehow negatively. They already seem to feel like hostages of something. No. You came here precisely to play, to be in all sorts of egregores, to gain the experience of the game through them, like participating simultaneously on different stages. You played in that theater, then in this one, and in this one. Whatever a person does, he is always in the game. Only either he plays his own game, or he is constantly in someone else's games and does not even have time to take a breath. If we go back to the old world, in the old world there are still practices, methodologies, some tools, the same nails, qigong, lots of games, transpersonal psychology, sacred kinesiology, astrology, all of it is needed. This somehow brings some results. From this you live, enjoy, become more effective, calmer, happier. What tools have you kept that you continue to use to explore yourself? As I understand, all the old tools are simply no longer necessary to you, because you have access to what we do not. What tools do you still use? Observation, perhaps. Those tools that are available to a person are observation, focusing attention on one's own perception. The very process of switching, the very process of tuning to another frequency, to other speeds, it is already mechanically clear and available to use. And they regularly lead into something new. They are no longer tools for going beyond the human. I have beaten my own paths for myself, felt them. Inside they have become conscious. I simply switch to them. Sitting down, as you say, to have a rest. I already remember how to pass from one state to another. I simply do it. It is like learning to walk and asking yourself what tool you use today to start walking. You simply walk. You learn to ride a bicycle, you just ride. It already works by default. It is like a skill that is trained, and that's all. All these external tools are needed to create within yourself the internal, your own tools. That is, to become aware of some processes with the help of which you will switch, find your way through. Isn't it boring? No. What do you now realize, see, feel, understand about where we are heading as a civilization, what future is ahead? We are moving from kindergarten to first grade, the current state of humanity. This time it is not being reset. This time it is ready to move to the next level. It already had attempts, and they were reset. You also said off camera that it is not just that the time has come. You said that it is simply a process of living out what remains.
Cool.
The old is already finishing itself off by inertia. The old mass egregores, such as religious, political, medical, all those in which humanity is massively involved, have already exhausted themselves, and a large part of the process is going on by inertia. And in each person, the things he lived for, cherished, much will be reconsidered and transformed. It is not that it will all be cancelled, but it will precisely be transformed, new knowledge will be revealed, and some of the old will leave, not as something bad, but as something no longer relevant. And what advice would you give to match that speed of development? To explore yourself. Everything begins with a person. Everything begins with you, with the one who really starts to think about this. And first, to accept yourself as you are at this moment. And you do not need to prepare for this. It is like life. You do not need to prepare for it. You need to live it now, in the access that you have. If a person lives, he constantly gets the opportunity to discover something new, to get into something new.
Interesting.
That was great.
That was cool. That guy was really cool. I like the guy. Very cool guy. Yeah, those are
Super
really cool
advanced.
videos.
That guy was an alien.
Yeah,
Super
that guy
advanced.
was so alien. Wow, those are really good videos. Very mind expanding, very conscious and expanding.
For sure.
It's wow.
I liked what you said about like pretty much religion, politics, old dogmas, old assertive authorities are gonna dissolve.
Yeah. Talking about resets, he did that.
He did.
The
He
resets.
talked about the previous civilizations. He sure mentioned it.
Alright, well, we're gonna close stream, guys. Much love, stopped by and chatted. We appreciate y'all. Peace, peace. Peace, man.